All right, hello and welcome everybody to the Trackalicious Saturday live stream here. This is going to be at Watkins, Glen. This is our finale, and hope everyone's having a great day today. I'm joined by none other than my boy Blue. Welcome, Blue.
Howdy, Mike. Yeah, we got Eric. Eric put a bunch of money into a studio for us.
Yeah,
so,
we're now got a new setup. Hope everyone loves it.
Yeah,
and
get to see our beautiful faces for approximately 2 hours.
Luckily, you won't be seeing it for 2 hours. You'll only be seeing it at the start and the end here. But yeah, we got new setups currently.
And we have they're right there. Look at them. They're right behind us.
They're literally. We got the front best seats in the house. We got 29 drivers on the track here tonight. And, well, not drivers, 29 cars on the track, multiple teams. This is the two-man drivers swap, and it'll be a 2-hour endurance race.
And it's a little rainy here in upstate New York.
It is. It is absolutely raining cats and dogs here in the qualifying session. Drivers are currently on their out laps as we're waiting to get into it. We'll switch over here to the actual race. So, you know, there goes us.
Yeah, see you guys.
We will be back, I'm sure. But into the qualifying session now. Sorry, go ahead, Blue.
That'll be really great for the Pro Series that we have going on at the end of February. We get to have that nice official, we got pro drivers on the track and we'll look super pro. So I'm excited for that one. I don't know about you.
No, we'll get it figured out. I'm sure there's little quirks and odds and ends that need to be worked out in it, but for a first time, I think that went pretty well.
Yeah, we weren't up there very long, but of course we got to get to some solid action. And Watkins is such a it's an iconic track in a lot of different motorsport variables, right? Last year, they had Kimi Räikkönen in a NASCAR here. And he was doing pretty well until he crashed out. That's usually how that goes, right? So this is for some guys it can be a little bit of a boring track. It feels a little repetitive, but for some guys it can just be their absolute muse of motorsports. They really enjoy it. So I think we're gonna have some pretty good racing. I had someone say that it feels like American Spa, which is interesting.
I don't agree with that at all. I understand what they're getting at with the elevation changes. This track has a massive swooping ups and downs of hills, which Spa sort of resembles, but when it comes to the top speed, I mean, this track is basically you're going all out the entire time. There's no heavy hairpins, no heavy braking. I don't think you go under 100 miles an hour, really. Even in the chicane, it is a
quick track for sure. T1, I think we're going to see quite a bit of action, especially early on when the field's a little bit more bunched up. With T1, because that sweeping right-hander that is going to provide a lot of action. Guys will go. I don't want to say abuse the track limits, but they'll probably tend to go a little wide because there is going to be a bit of a bunch up here. So. We'll kind of have to watch out for that as the guys start setting their laps in for this qualifying session. And the rain is going to add another variable to this because, like you said, this track is usually pretty quick. You guys are going to have to tone it down a little bit with the agua coming down.
Yeah, this first sector in here, pretty much flat out. I need to figure out why it's doing that flashing. I apologize for that. Okay, no why. Basically, this entire sector is flat out throughout here up until you get to the chicane, but I think in the rain, it's going to be a basically constant battle of feathering the throttle, and normally down into fourth gear through here, but having to go into third is Wolfgang.
Yeah, and that bus stop is going to be a make or break moment for a lot of guys. Break with no pun intended there, but that bus stop can... Racing here in a couple different leagues and being a blue flag most of the time myself, that bus stop can pretty much set you up for what's going to be a good lap and what's going to be a bad lap. And I think we're going to see a lot of guys try to master that bus stop throughout the race, and the rain's going to make it a bit of a doozy.
Yeah, for sure. Ollie Raza currently topping the time charts right now with a 1:54.0 from him. That's like, no joke, the pace that I run in the dry. But, you know.
And, you know, they were feeling good at Nürburgring. They're liking the Aston, the stability. I was talking with Nate Lamlin earlier. Normally a BMW guy. He likes his traction control 8 and his nice little cozy setup in the Beamer, but you know, he said that he's felt good in the Aston as more of a backup car if he didn't really necessarily want to drive the BMW all the time. So kudos to Aston Martin for giving them a pretty solid machine. Those are two really good drivers in Nate Lamlin and Ollie Raza. So
yeah, I was actually watching a nice Nate Lamlin stream last night. I think you were there as well.
Yeah, he goes from, what a trip he's been on. He's been in Australia, and then he flies all the way to New York for this event. So a lot of driving for Mr. Lamlin, a lot of driving. But the Alpha Dog can take it.
And Ollie Raza and Wolfgang, they're trading positions for that first place right now, 10th off. You have just your Jared Seckham in there as well for that third position. Great lap from him.
And the big thing with this track is going to be how stable can you be, right? How essentially just keeping it on the black stuff is the goal for every race, especially for myself. But I think these guys, the more stable the car you have, the less volatile the car you have, is going to really assist early on. We're going to be seeing rain for the next about half hour. So the BMWs, the Aston Martins, those guys are going to more than likely be much more successful than, say, the Audis or even the Hondas, as we're seeing in quality times. Now, not a lot of Audis or Hondas have gone out. They're still sitting in the pits, probably figuring out what to do, but those two Astons up top really proving that nice, stable car is going to provide a great advantage.
Yeah, and we have Nate Lamlin in chat as well, saying Raza, his teammate, looks strong. And yeah, there's reason you got him behind the wheel in qualifying, clearly, as he is sitting up there at the pole position time right now. And
now, with that being said, we also have guys, Posnikanov, who ended up winning at Nürburgring. He hasn't gone out yet. We got Mark Landry, who's still sitting in the pits. He also hasn't gone out yet. He's really, really wicked quick. So we do have a couple guys that haven't exactly set times yet. Peter O'Brien, nicknamed Pobby by myself, he came in 4th last week. I had him sitting on the podium at Nürburgring, so we'll see how he does here. Mastachero, also pretty quick guy in that 808 BMW, hasn't set a time yet. So lots of guys sitting in the pits. We also have a Jag out on track. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's sitting in the pits right now, but yeah, that'll be a it's an interesting pick there. I'm interested to see how he does. The Jag hasn't been supported by ACC a whole lot, so definitely going to be a fun time.
We did see there Maximilian Bacher. He did beat out Ollie Raza to pole position by 0.02 of a second, and quickly is beaten out by Narasimhan. Narasimhan, yeah, Narasimhan. That's Narasimhan. Yep. Yeah. In the Ferrari, quite a few Ferraris here on track, which is interesting to see. That's a car you haven't seen too much on the grid as of late, but has there been a recent BOP change that I'm unaware of?
The QV, the QV guys are. I see what they're doing. There's a reason that there's a bunch of guys in the pits. They're doing odds and evens qualifying. I forgot that that's what they do for this series. So that's why we were seeing guys not going out. So now we should see some pretty sweet times. But the Ferrari, Daniel Versosa and Toth and Olin, along with Ricardo Sapien, they're all part of one big team, and they all decided to drive the Ferrari, that Chip Ganassi Ford Ferrari, which is hilarious to me. But they had a bit of a time at Nürburgring dealing with some gravel traps and stuff like that, but the Ferrari seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, interesting to see here. And Ollie Raza there jumping up to pole position once again. Great lap from him.
Yeah, and he got that in at the last second because there's a 10-minute cutoff between the odds and the evens. And let's see if he can hold that 150, that 53.5. It's pretty much a 53.55, but I'm not sure. I think there may be a couple quicker guys here. I am liking Nause in second right now. He hasn't necessarily had incredible performances the last couple races, so I think he's probably feeling pretty good at that P2 right now. Confidence high.
Yeah, and Nause, does he have a teammate? Let me take a look. Where is he? Maximilian, he's on his own. And he's also on his own in the Ferrari.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Arjun,
yep. So now we have looks like the odd cars are going out now. Might actually be the evens.
Yeah, I think it's the evens
going out now.
The couple odd cars still on their lap. Ollie Raza, he's on his lap. And about even with his Delta. Coming through the final few turns right now. Looking to make just a little bit. Well, that's not going to help him. He is turning that Hoonigan car into a true Ken Block's tribute.
Yeah.
Drifting.
That was quite a sweet drift.
Yeah, drifting through the final corner there. And
I think
now
he maybe knew that he was on camera there. Wanted to
do a little show off.
Yeah, just show some skills.
Andy Mayer is going to be, I think, the first car of the even numbers on track. There's a Vivid Racing car. Nope, the Vivid Racing car is the first one. Oliver Ewig here in that Vivid Global Racing McLaren. I was actually driving the track with these guys just the other day.
Yeah. They invited me to do some series stuff with them as well. I told them that I'm incredibly slow compared to their pace. They're pretty solid, but yeah, we're big visceral fans here in the booth. But we have to be non-biased, right? We're gonna stay non-biased up here.
Yeah, Oliver negotiating through that sector. This is normally a pretty not flat out sector. You got to feather the throttle very lightly in fourth gear through there. Oliver does manage to stick in fourth gear throughout that turn complex, but just having to be so delicate on the throttle. The back end going to be wanting to slip out basically the entire time.
Again, finding that mix of pace and stability is going to be the true challenge as we come up at about the 6 minute mark of qualifying, and we're seeing some more, again, that you need to be stable. You got to stay on track to set a time, right? So I think that's going to help him as we're watching him go through, starting into sector 3, and going to come across the line. And the McLaren in the wet is, I haven't had a whole lot of experience driving in the wet with the Macca. You may have a little bit more XP than me.
It is a very solid car in the wet.
It's very solid. Okay, so it's wrong.
It might be one of the best cars in the wet, actually.
All right.
Oliver not quite doing it justice here. Bringing it into 11th position. Sure, he's got a bit better lap.
Tim Turquette, our podium sitter. Oh, back-to-back podium sitters there. Volchuk setting the quality time for the Attack Racing out of the Ukraine.
What a time.
Yeah, 52.9. Smoked Ollie Raza's. And then Tim Turquette. These guys are going to go, again, they're going to go toe-to-toe. They have every week since Spa, and a sour pit stop at Spa, and then a little bit of some issues at Silverstone with the side attack Honda, but man, was Nürburgring a blast for those guys. Turquette too. So I got a sneaking suspicion that those two guys, that podium setup may not change.
Yeah, we'll see. Side attack team is going to be trying to make it a back-to-back here. Back-to-back victories, as they did win last week in Nürburgring. There's a car, I think, spun out on the track there, but negotiated just fine by Pavlo.
Yeah, Pavlov is when, I ring the bell and you come to me.
Yes.
That's Pavlov.
Yes.
Yeah, that NSX. I mean, I was talking about volatility, and the NSX to me has always been a pretty volatile car to drive. So for him to stick it on track and lay a time down, a good time, a pole time, right? He knows how to drive that vehicle, and he was telling me in the garage earlier that his engineers really, really dove deep to find some pace in this. Really, really set it up for both him and Pozniakonov to drive pretty well. So I'm excited to see what they can do. They want that back-to-back. That whole team wants that back-to-back for sure.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do. Drivers here like Peter O'Brien, as you were saying earlier, one of your not favorites because we're not biased. Is going to be.
He's on my list. He's on my short list, and he sets that 152.6, 0.3 of a second. I'm a big Pobby fan. Peter O'Brien and his teammate Eric Neville, they were feeling good about Nürburgring, but came in fourth. So we'll see. They're on home turf, American team. So
And down in the third year for the chicane, man, keeping it flat through that uphill sector. That's really impressive in these conditions. And Peter O'Brien is on pole, by the way.
Yeah. He set that 152.6. He beat Kovalchuk by 0.3.
Well, he's looking like he wants to continue. Did he get that race win a couple weeks ago, or did he get second? I don't remember.
He was in fourth at Nürburgring, and he got I believe it was a W at Silverstone.
Here, I can just
we'll have to check with the guys in the bus, but
Silverstone was in fact won by who was it won by? Jordan
as a Ferrari
Nixon?
engineer once said, we're checking.
Jordan Nixon? Peter O'Brien and Eric Neville. No, there we go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
They just
did
changed
win
their car
in
name.
Silverstone. So they definitely want another win, and that championship's fairly close for these guys. So it'll be a lot of fun. This top three has always been just a brawl essentially between these three guys. And then Rzhevsky, Russian, out of the Turner Motorsports BMW, wasn't able to make it out, unfortunately. He was not able to do the Watkins wet race.
Unfortunate.
So, yep. Yeah, the team backed out, and it is a bummer because, you had a solid top four there. But I'm liking our mid pack as well. So we got all Ewig, Chrono, Mastachero up into 15th. They had a rough Nürburgring, that 808 BMW. So we'll see if they can kind of bounce back. A. Ballard, former Lexus factory driver, A. Ballard, drove with him in SFR GT, and he was really good in the Lexus. So we'll see how he does. He's currently sitting P13.
Andreas Mastachero there, making that BMW look a little squirrely.
Yeah, tell me how how they drive in Tokyo, Andres.
And another decent qualifying result we're seeing here, Jason Provolone. He's up in 16th. It's definitely a crowd favorite.
And you know what they say? It is not easy being cheesy.
Except he is in his Garage 17 car for this race.
I know, but you always got to, with the name like Provolone, you got to throw it out. We got about 40 seconds left in qualifying, and our top 10 looks really fun, to be honest. You got Visceral Racing, I believe it's Jared. Is it Jared Seckham or Justin Seckham in that 103 BMW?
It's gonna be Jared.
Brother Justin. So it's a team of brothers. You got Wolfgang, Backer, Mayer, Narasimhan, Raza, Turquette, Kovalchuk, and Pobby. And I feel like Kovalchuk is going to really pressure Peter into a mistake early. They're 0.3 away from each other. This top five is sweet. Sweet.
Yeah, it's really not spread out by much. I mean, you can see Peter O'Brien absolutely slamming the lap down. Must have had a bit of track improvement at the end of qualifying there. But nonetheless, doing what he needs to take that pole position. Ollie Raza is really unfortunate as he was in that first round of qualifying, so didn't get that track evolution. Still managing to keep that 4th place, but it's
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a. I wouldn't say that it's a bummer that he's in P4. Him and Nate have both kind of been P4, P5 as qualities have gone on. It just shows the strength of field in that top 10. And, you know, Roz has got to be pretty happy. I think he's got to be happy with P4. It's close to a podium, but those top 3 have got to make a mistake for the Alpha Dog and Raza to bump in there.
Yeah, we're currently following along with Andy Mayer, who's on a fairly decent lap himself. He's sitting in 6th position right now. But looking to make a pretty decent result in the WRT Audi. Andy Mayer's teammate Landry.
Landry's got some pace. That team is a little unfair as far as skill goes.
And Andy Mayer coming across the line with a big slide at the end there. And that McLaren bonnet doesn't look fully attached.
No, I think right at the end, Peter Brown was trying to maybe put a little bit more improvement, a little bit more space between him and Kovalchuk, and whipped it out a little bit, and it didn't quite work.
And Stefan Lindauer there coming across the line to finish up our qualifying session. Teammates with Casey Schutte for this race. He will end in P20.
And I was actually, it's funny that you mentioned them. Stefan and Casey, they were running into some during practice. They were running into some electrical issues with the Aston Martin. I know they were talking to some team reps and trying to figure out what was going on there. And it looks like they got everything sorted for qualifying, but we'll have to kind of keep an eye and see if they're able to finish the race, because I know that they were pretty frustrated with that.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty. Here we go. Just getting everything ready here for the grid rundown.
Now let's do that grid walk, Mike.
We will be doing that
Give
grid
it to
walk
us.
here. Don't be okay. Good. It's not too loud. All right. So we do have 28 drivers cars on the grid here tonight for this 2-hour driver swap race. And starting in pole position, we have Peter O'Brien, Pobby himself, in the 120 McLaren. We have Pozdinikov starting in P2 in that number 86 Honda. Great laps from him in qualifying, but Peter O'Brien just stealing it at the end. Tim Troquette in qualifying in P3. Nate Lamlin and Ollie Raza qualifying in that P4 position. We have Narasimhan qualifying in P5 in that Ferrari. That's quite the result for him. Landry in P6, the number 666 in P6. Starting off fittingly, I would say, Maximilian Bacher in P7. Wolfgang is going to be in that P8 position for that Vivid Global Racing Aston Martin. Jared Seckham in P9. You got Jason Provolone, the cheese man himself, with quite the end of... we must have missed that lap at the end, qualifying, bringing himself up to P10. So nice lap from him. Hajo Horman, another Vivid Global Racing member, in P11. Ricardo Sapien, the QV Motorsport Ford, Chip Ganassi. It's an absolute mouthful. Ricardo Sapien in P12. Andreas Montecchero bringing up P13. Adam Bollard in P14. Patrick Toth, that 363 Ferrari. Another Eco Ford Chip Ganassi Ferrari. I have no idea what you said, but anyways, Oliver Ewig bringing up P16. Pascal Reinhardt in P17. Professor Chronotis in the number 42 in P18. Casey Schutte in P19. Chris Ramaker in P20. Dana Versosa in P21. We have A. Olin in P22 in that Ferrari. Potts Weaver in P23. Bronson Turner in P24 in that very hungry Carl's Jr., wherever, Hardy's Jr., whatever you guys call it, wherever you're at. Number 81 in P24. We have Warwick lining up next to him in P25, Dan Schneider in P26, Jake Bucknam, and that Mr. Mower Ram Ranch, okay, in the Jag. Jake Bucknam being the character as always there in P27, and Mark Valencer bringing up the back of the grid to round us out here tonight. And
yeah, and those last two, the Jag is going to be a fun watch, to be totally honest. Again, like I said in free practice or qualifying, not a supported car anymore. It's not ran in real life, so should be interesting to see what kind of times he lays down. I'll be watching him.
Do we want to switch for the outlap? Do we want to switch for the outlap?
Switch
scenes? Why not? Right?
You know what? We could.
Why not?
Let's do it. People want to see our faces.
They probably don't, but
they probably don't.
We'll try. So here we come. Hope you're ready, Blue. There we are.
Yeah.
All right. So, as we are now going to be getting ready for this outlap, brought to you by Trackalicious, as you can see down below, if you guys are interested. Welcome, everybody. James Bardolph, welcome. Got Jake in here, Provolone, Eric, everybody in the chat. Welcome, everyone.
We got Andy Borchers. He's an absolute rapid lad. I don't know what you're doing in Twitch chat, not racing, but man, I think the reason he's not racing is to give some guys some extra confidence. That's got to be what it is.
Definitely, that's the only reason why. Yes, we're
100%.
Showing off our new tech here. This is in fact new fanciness. I even have a tie.
We had to find an excuse to bring it aboard, right?
I mean, this is we're at like peak viewership at the beginning of the stream. We might as well.
Yeah, we also are pretty excited because we'll have a little bit of a pre-race show for the Pro Series, the GT3 Pro Series that we'll be doing. So we're also very, very stoked about that. We'll plug it over the course of 2 hours. We'll probably do about 5 plugs of that.
Yeah, thank you, Blue, because I can look over at you beautifully.
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah, the reflections. This is all made possible by Mr. Mike Nause to my left, right, whichever you are in the virtual universe, and of course Eric Gikasian, Trackalicious Eric as he's known. He was a master, one of the masterminds behind this and getting it all set up for us. So of course our whole cast and crew that you can't see, which is behind the camera, right?
Yeah, of course. Our entire production crew back there. We have Kroon Shandok down in the pit lane as well before us.
Yeah, and we gotta come up with some definitely made up names.
I don't know. I mean, wait, how would change the first letter of each of his wait, it doesn't change. It's still Kroon Shandok.
Yeah, he's still
Dang it.
Kroon Shandok. So, and we have a driver switch for JP Motorsports. Eric Neville is going to take over that 120 McLaren. Pobby did the quali time. Neville is going to take over for the race. So that's again, I'm a little biased. I like that JP Motorsports car. So also Mr. Falcon N1, hola, what's up, Blue? It's just BLU though. There's no E.
Yeah, come on, get it right.
I thought ties were required.
They are required, but Blue is a slacker. Blue is slacking. Man doesn't have a tie, but we'll jump back into the stream now as we are going to be, I think, about halfway through the outlap. We've got to be getting close. So goodbye to us.
Yes, yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, I can just check. We are actually like exactly halfway through the outlap. I could have kept going.
That.
I could have kept going.
You could have.
It's too late now. I'm not going to go back.
We won't switch it back. Yeah, we're not going to go back and forth. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah. But just wanted to show that off before the start of the stream because...
Oh, also, Jelson Cruz taking over the 321 BMW. Ballard did the quali lap there. So a little bit of some bouncing around for these guys.
And, yeah, coming to the end of this formation lap, we're going to see Eric Neville. How is he so far ahead of everybody else?
Hey, man, you're fast in quali, you're fast in free practice, you're fast on the formation lap. These guys are all about speed. Of course, their home race being U.S.-based, a lot of these guys being U.S.-based, but we'll say that they're U.S.-based.
I'm not sure Pavlo is. There's a couple guys I know. As I was saying, I mentioned Hardy's earlier, and saying whichever one you have there. And then
they don't think that they have Hardy's in.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, that's who we're missing. We're missing the maestro, Lucas Lichten.
Oh, you're right.
The anti-qualify guy.
Well,
Road to go lights out. We
are cars lined up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation here on the start-finish straight. God, I hate that it's... And we're underway here. At Watkins, Glen for the 2-hour race. It's a really good start for Peter O'Brien, but he's under quick pressure from Pavlo behind. We see some battling from the BMW and the Aston as well. Audi trying to go around the outside of the BMW. These two, though, going side by side along the way. Everybody clean through T1, it seems like. It's a relatively easy T1 to make it through. Everybody tucking in one by one so far. So far, so good. We don't see much action, but it was squabbling down here. Jason Provolone and Jared Seckham going side by side. Provolone trying to make up a little bit of ground as he started in P10. Got the Vivid Global Racing McLaren there trying to get involved as well, but into this extremely high-speed chicane, it's going to be tricky. It's not easy to go too wide behind there. We actually do see another Vivid car, Hajo Horman, going too wide with a BMW, or with a BMW of Mastachero.
Oh.
That was a car off the track of Provolone.
It was Olin, the 163 QV Chip Ganassi Ford, just kind of losing it a little bit in the bus stop. I'm not sure if there was contact there though. We'll have to see what the report is from the team.
I wonder what happened to Provolone as he was battling for that P9 position. He has managed to fall back and is now battling for P11 with Andreas, and Andreas looks like he has the drag and will have the inside line here coming into the final sector, but actually Provolone late on the brakes keeps ahead.
Yeah, nice battling there by Jason to potentially get it done. He's trying to get it done. Trying to get past that Mastachero BMW, that banana yellow. That's quite a color choice by them.
Banana yellow with a coconut on it as well.
Yeah. I forgot what their team name is, but it has something to do with like the coconut experience or something.
Oh, Lichten had issues with his server. Who knows?
Yeah, that sucks.
Andreas continued the gift stub that they got from JSEC. Thank you very much. Why didn't that pop up on stream?
Who knows? Look at this. We got a battle, the 120 JP Motorsports McLaren. Turquette and Mayer duking it out. Oh no, Mayer kind of loses it a little bit. And we apologize, no picture-in-picture due to some technical difficulties early on. So I'm saying random things, and Mike is having to catch up.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's fine. Working out. We see yellow flags.
I'm saying that for Eric's sake.
Daniel Versosa and Nick Fujikawa got involved in a little bit of a collision, it looks like. Let's see what happened there. Go back. Check that out. We're currently following Nick right now. Oh, and we see the Ford car getting sideways, and he just collects both of the drivers. Luckily, though, I think that was Stefan Lindauer, managed to keep going unaffected, but Nick, not as lucky, gets turned around and loses a bit of time there.
And Fujikawa was telling me the other day he's had a little bit of rough goes in this series, but he's kept his head high and said, there's always got to be someone to make up the backpack of the grid, right? So he's taking it on the chin for sure. Yeah,
unfortunate. A couple other drivers back there with him. Olin was back there. Grazimov. I think I mispronounced the heck out of that.
Yeah. Gerasimov, maybe a late arrival to the race. Usually pretty up top. We should see some climbing there by Gerasimov, but our top 3 are separated by way less than a second, less than half a second. Holy cow.
Andy Mayer just made a move there onto Maximilian. I think we just missed that. Bacher getting overtaken on that straight. That WRT Audi trying to look ahead right now. We see another yellow flag, the 98 car. Lucas Lichten. He's facing the wrong way.
Hey, he made it into the race, though.
Oh! Not the
I think that was a
ideal line.
Yeah, an incident of maybe cold tires going through the bus stop and just kind of losing it. So that's a bit of a bummer. Trichet and Pavlo.
They're side by side, yeah, but I can't really... I was in the replay, so I couldn't go to it. We just missed out on all of that side-by-side action, unfortunately, but they're not done yet, so...
Yeah, no position change for those two. But this is playing into the hand of Eric Neville, because if these guys keep duking it out and battling, they'll just kind of let Eric essentially go and run away with it. And Ollie Roz is putting pressure on Tim Trichet.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Ollie Raza going to be trying to tuck out of the slipstream, have a little bit of a look. Backs out of it, though. That 112 BMW carrying on for now, just looking ahead at the Honda in the front. And we come through this sector now. It's a very tricky sector, and we see Ollie Raza is going to be making a move around the outside, just peeking his nose in there, sticks or backs out of it, and we see the BMW trying to go around the outside of the chicane. The Honda, though, covering that extremely well, and the Honda's off into the grass.
Oh, no.
There's no grass there. It's tarmac, but he's still off.
Yeah, and he ends up cutting off Andy Mayer, and I don't think Mayer's going to be too terribly happy with that. And Mayer and Bacher now going at it, and that poor Porsche having no real straight line speed is gonna kind of suck through sector 1, and they got nice and touchy there between Andy Mayer
and again
and Bacher. Yeah, a little aggressive on that pass, and some some good old what are you doing flashing, I think is what that was.
Not what I would consider the cleanest overtake, but he is by nonetheless.
Aggressive. Maybe we could see some penalties handed out after the race, of course. Unfortunately, no live stewarding for these events. It is all done post-race, but Bacher not a little bit elbows out, and I would say those are some catch these hands kind of passes right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was anything penalty worthy though. That was it was a bit of an aggressive move.
Hard driving, Haad driving.
Yeah.
Hard driving.
Big old group of cars down here. Justin Seckham trying to make a look onto Jelson Cruz. Jelson holding, well, actually Andreas is holding everybody up here, it seems like. Provolone in front of them.
From P11 to about P20 is a nice little gap. Oh, Dan Schneider and Stefan Lindauer, they bump into each other. That's a bummer for slightly offensive racing. And the Bell. That's the Bell Aston.
Gonna see Lindauer trying to go down the inside. He has it pretty much firmly secured, and yeah, it was really difficult to see from that camera angle exactly what happened.
Yeah, it ends up taking both of them out. Sucky, for sure.
Yeah. Ricardo Sapien having a bit of a team scrap here with Toth in front of him.
And we'll see if there's any sort of team orders, since Sapien is... he's not necessarily lapping any quicker, but I think that slipstream is helping between them. Toth is a little bit less than a second faster as far as his laps go, so...
I suck at this, giving some energy to Nick Fujikawa. Giving him some hope.
Giving him some hope as Fujikawa, 75 BMW, currently sits P25 right now. But he's not the bottom of the grid. he doesn't get the last place cookie today.
It's quite far from, in fact. 5 drivers blocking him from that honor. Racer X, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing awesome today. Ready to watch some nice Saturday endurance racing. We got an hour and 50 minutes here on the clock. We're 10 minutes into this race.
We're 10 minutes in and we've seen tons of passes in action. That's really what Watkins can provide for us as entertainers and for these guys as drivers. Is usually there is a fair bit of action. I'm going to be interested to see when we do swaps, the blue flag situation, because this is not necessarily the widest.
Ooh, that was never going to work.
Oh, no.
Jelson and Andreas come together. 2 just does not go into 1 in that extremely high-speed chicane. We can go back and watch that, but that was pretty easy to see from the beginning what was going to happen.
Yeah, that bus stop, we kind of said it from the outset that it was going to be a make-or-break situation for these guys, and there's a lot of racing going on right there. Oh man! Now kudos to Seckham, and another BMW managed to sneak through there. Seckham just literally split the defense and went straight down the line. pretty lucky. He's definitely wearing his brown pants for that moment, though, for sure.
Luckily, his car has some nice brown leather interior, so they thought ahead on that one. We see, though, Patrick Toth making gains onto Andreas, and Andreas making gains onto Oliver in front of him. These guys... Oh, and there's a car just, taking its own line. I think that was Professor Cronotis. He's...
and he is a professor, so we can't really doubt him here.
Actually, was that? Might have been... No, it was, yeah. Making his own line.
Yeah, that battle for 13th to 17th is fairly tight. We also have Horman trying to catch up to Vivid Global Wolfgang as well. So a little bit of a team battle there between the brother and sister team, one being in the McLaren, the other one being in the Aston. But you know that the top 3 are separated by less than a second.
Yeah, and Nate's teammate is going to be Ollie Raza, who's currently sitting in 3rd position right now. They qualified fairly
P5.
well in...
P4, P5?
Yeah, they held
P4.
that... It is P5, I think. I can just look. It's P4, you were right.
Hey, that's on camera. Clip that. I mean, great work by Ollie Raza. I was talking with Nate as he was driving. He was actually in the Mercedes yesterday in a Bathurst 12-hour, and he was feeling, like I said, feeling good about the Aston, but he definitely is still a BMW guy at heart. Yeah, they are a little bit more of a gap now, but that lead, Eric Neville and Tim Triquette, they have a little bit of rivalry going back to our first race in Spa, where they were neck and neck. They finished across the line pretty much photo finish. And I'm feeling some not animosity in a bad way, some really just good rivalry driving.
Yeah, some other good rivalry driving here that we have going on is Bacher following along with Pavelchuk, but actually Tim Triquette. These top 5 are all within about a second of each other, which is a very easy mistake on Watkins Glen, and that can basically ruin your race quite quickly here.
You're probably not just giving up one position, you're probably giving up multiple, because as you were talking about, the track is really quick. Track moves fast, and if you can't keep up, then if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Watkins provides us. Now, for guys that can't keep it on the black stuff like myself, it provides a nice little tumble down the order. Triquette maybe seeing some light here.
Same with Maximilian. Both of these guys, I think, are smelling blood in the water. We'll see here. Tim Triquette last lap, lapping about 0.2 faster than Eric Neville, 145.5 from Tim
It
and a
wasn't valid,
145.7 from Erica.
It was not a valid lap.
Okay.
So we'll take that with what it is. But I think as far as the Povalchuk and Backer battle, that's going to come down to straight line speed. Narasimhan.
What happened here?
Chunked into the wall, yeah.
All on their own. Rounding a very high-speed left-hander. Back end just violently steps out on him, and he comes sailing across the track. Both Vivid cars barely missing out on him. And now actually Hajo Horman and Wolfgang, they're battling it. There's no team orders here for these Vivid guys.
And definitely a frightening moment for Schnauzger there, because all he saw was red Ferrari in front of him. So, yeah, woof.
I wasn't sharing my screen.
Like,
sorry about that.
Looks like Horman's gonna peel away. Schnauzger, less than a second, but not crazy competitive. Not doing a whole lot of pressure on Horman. So we'll see. I think those guys are gonna be pretty happy with another top 10 finish. Closing in on a top 5 potentially for Horman.
He's got a lot of work to do for a top 5, but anything can happen.
Drivers.
Speaking of, Tim Troquette trying to make a move around the outside. This has put him under pressure from Ali Raza in the back. He needs to get a hurry on right now and either get this overtake done or get to cut this squabbling out, because Ali Raza is a very opportunistic driver and is going to take any gap he can get.
Yeah, and to be totally honest, you have, let's see, we're 15 minutes into the race, and we already have a nice little pack up here. So if these guys can hold on for another 40 minutes, the driver swap will become really interesting. It will become a race in the pits, right?
Yeah, hopefully we don't see any... Ooh. Wow, he stays on, though. But are we going to see the move? We are going to see a move here from Ali Raza. As I said, it just takes that littlest mistake, and Ali Raza smells the blood. He's going to go for the kill.
Now coming up to that pivotal bus stop moment, and a great little bit of shiesty cutoff there to really secure the position, but nice move there by Ali Raza, showing that the stability of that Aston, he means business. And Ali Raza now has himself in a podium spot, and Nate sitting in the garage clapping away his teammate.
That was an incredible move.
That was two guys who know how to drive battling it out right there, for sure.
Yeah,
Dutchman
I think
versus
Tim recognizing his mistake there pretty early on, and both those drivers giving each other just the amount of space and absolutely no more than they needed to.
Yeah, going just a hair wide at T1, and T1 can be a little bit more forgiving because there's a lot of runoff there. But again, if you take it poorly, a better driver is going to come along, and there's always a bigger fish, right? So that's what Qui-Gon Jinn told me one time. There's always a bigger fish. I'm loving this battle right here. These two guys. Of course, we saw Bacher take on Mayer a little bit more aggressively. We'll see if he puts the fisticuffs up.
Looked like a
Povalchuk.
Bit of an error from Povalchuk on the exit onto the start-finish straight. Gives an opportunity to Bacher. Bacher's going to have the inside line, but the acceleration on that Porsche is freaking crap. That thing absolutely goes nowhere.
Yeah, that straight line speed, that's where Povalchuk's going to really have to pull ahead and utilize this section right here to give himself a little bit of breathing room. But Bacher is, I think he's on a little bit of a revenge tour. I want to say Silverstone and Nürburgring did not go very well for him. Ooh, he absolutely murders those curves into the bus stop.
But it looks so planted the entire time. These guys, I think they're just better than us. I think that's one.
I think that's why we're in the booth and they're driving. I think that's what that comes down to. As they go into this little lower section of Sector 2. Maybe a little bit of net code there between the two guys.
And I don't know if you know, I started streaming in Discord so you can see what I see. So I didn't realize
in real time.
Yeah. I didn't realize I started that, or I didn't do that before. Flashing of the lights from Maximilian. He wants by.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit more of a, you know, hey, I'm getting antsy back here. Maybe a little bit of a distraction tactic too, but nonetheless, Kovalchuk stays strong mentally and physically as far as this goes. It's gonna be a fun battle. These guys are nuts.
Yeah. I do love a little bit of the flashing of the lights just to try to get into the drivers' heads. I think it's...
Yeah, you play a little psychological warfare. As a guy that is flashed a lot, not a fan, personally, but it is a very good tactic. It does work, and it will get people off their games and frustrate them. So we'll see if it happens again.
We'll see. Kovalchuk, I think he is probably a racer of that caliber that shouldn't be distracted by that.
No, he's... I mean, we saw how well he did at Nürburgring last week, how well him and his teammate did between Poznikanov and him. So I think we'll see some mental fortitude from these guys.
Bit of an error there from both drivers, pretty much. And big error up ahead. I think that's we're now approaching some lap traffic. What the heck? There's a freaking chicane in the road. Where did that come from?
That just absolutely kills. That was Ducky. Taylor Johnston, nicknamed Ducky in McLaren. Man. Looks like he just loses it.
And I don't think there was anything Bakker really could do there. No, he did everything. Both drivers did everything right in that instance, and that was just an unavoidable collision. Ducky hitting his brakes, coming to a very quick stop, which is everything you're supposed to do in that moment. And unfortunately, Mayer does make it by.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, right? And Andy Mayer probably not wanting to see his driving compatriot get bumped into like that, but he takes that position back, moves himself back up into 5th place after getting a little bumpy with Bakker. So I don't think there's any love lost between Mayer and Bakker in that instance.
Bit of side-by-side action down the field here for P20. This is going to be Lindauer and Dan Schneider having to go at each other there. Lindauer getting the job done very cleanly.
And we saw those guys come together early on in T1, and it didn't go too well for them. So they make that move look a lot better than the last time that they decided to battle each other. So, and it is looking like I reported on the electrical issues for that Bell Aston. Looks like they've sorted it out. So, of course, we still have a little while left in the race. Things can go wrong.
What the heck happened to Maximilian? He is off on the gravel. Just cut that out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I want to say that it was a self-inflicted. He's got a lot of damage.
Well, he just missed the chicane completely, and rejoining the track hits an invisible bump that absolutely yeets him into the freaking barrier.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a little bit of overdriving, combo frustration, and going from almost a podium position to where he's at now. That stinks, but he's a good driver. So with some time in the pits, some fixing the damage, he should be able to battle back, no problem.
Yeah, if he does decide to pit to repair that damage, this will probably put him in last position, or at least relatively close to. As you can see, that car is all over the road, so I would imagine he is going to be pitting for damage.
You have an hour and a half. He may try to tough it out, but he is a little bit of a hazard.
He's losing so much time a lap.
Yeah. Seckham and Narsimon duking it out right here.
We can get some Provolone cam. Currently, Provolone's he's in a little gap of his own, so we'll give him a minute. Once there's a little bit of a lull, we'll switch to him. Maximilian
also,
did end up coming into the pits.
Yeah, and that Porsche team is out there pretty much instantaneously. Some gaffer tape.
It's going to need more than gaffer tape to fix that up. He hit the wall pretty freaking hard.
That he did. Man, Jared Seckham in that power thirst BMW. He's gonna need some serious raw berry or some chocolate to get past Narasimhan, who's on a bit of a revenge drive himself down into P9 after qualifying top 5. So
A really cool livery.
the power thirst one?
Yeah.
Man, you gotta watch that video. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, comedy gold. It's a YouTube meme from like 15 years ago, but it is chef's kiss hilarious.
I'll take your word for it.
Don't just take my word for it. I'll send you the link.
You can
Don't
send me the link.
worry.
If you send me the link, I'll watch it.
That's what I like to hear. Ali Raza sitting comfortably right now in P2. Super proud of that Aston Martin. To be honest, Tim Trickett not going away lightly though. That's for sure. As Seckham wanting this to happen.
Stefan Lindauer has managed to find a friend on track here. Jake Bucknam in the Jag. He is going to be fighting with him at Jag all over the course.
And maybe try to get a little bit of run going through sector 1 there, but Lindauer does have an advantage. He got Lichten in between him and that slightly offensive Ferrari.
This is such a weird group of cars that's kind of battling but not battling here.
I love the mix that we have. We have a Jag, an Aston, a Bentley, a BMW, and a Ferrari right there, and I find that just fun. You know, that's great. Lindauer trying to go wide.
Side.
He's trying to take advantage of all of that big candy cane curb there. Not quite going to happen. Bucknam driving that Jag's wheels off right now.
He's doing what he can. We also have a yellow flag a bit up the road. What the heck happened here? Is this a disc? What? Okay, I think it was just a bit of a lag spike. We're good. Oh no, that's a big slide from the Jag. What the drift?
Way.
Oh, and that's a big hit on the barrier. There are cars scattered everywhere, bumping and banging across. That's gonna be the McLaren doesn't lift. Dude, get off the throttle. What are you doing?
I think is that Ducky?
I don't know, but that was, dude. So you're coming up to yellow flags. Slow down.
It's not Ducky. Man.
Oh, just chaos. Jeez.
And the news goes from bad to worse for Lindauer. And by the way, Bacher still in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So something has gone really, really wrong with that Porsche.
Okay, you cover this here for a second. I got a phone call. It's important. Sorry.
Take your time. You're good. Stefan Lindauer currently in P23 in that Bell Aston Martin Reckless Racing. Slightly ironic name for what just occurred, but he's going to try to make his way back up to that slightly offensive Dan Schneider Ferrari. Schneider and Fujikawa, they are also getting close, of course. You guys can't see that as we go on. Stay on board with Lindauer. Lindauer is to hit the pits. We may see a driver change for Lindauer as well. Jelson Cruz and Mastachero been track buddies for a while. That banana colored Coconuts R Us, the Coconut Experience, whatever they want to call it, and that Rockefeller Racing BMW. Kudos to whoever designed that Rockefeller Racing BMW. It looks really, really cool. I love those cars. But Jelson Cruz and his teammate Adam Ballard, they are right where they qualified, P13. A top 20 finish in a race like this, nothing to scoff at for these guys. Of course, they both run in SFR GT, SimForce Racing GT. I'm a big fan. I'm running it myself.
Sorry. Way to re-enter, but I just
Fujikawa getting a little close with Dan Schneider there.
Got a little squeezed. Ferrari coming across the track there, just about taking him out, but that's all right. He didn't.
Yeah, nice save by Fujikawa. Of course, Hawaii-based. Oh, man. A little bit of bumper cars there by the Jag and the Ferrari.
A little bit. Gives the
Fujikawa
position back,
right
to Fujikawa. Fujikawa's going to be having a look on the Ferrari, but yeah, that would be an extremely ambitious send if he managed to go for that. What the guys? Come on.
Little three wide through T1.
Not on the track.
Nothing new there. And that Bucknam really, like you said earlier, just driving the wheels off that Jaguar, which is not a sentence that you hear a whole lot right now.
Someone has got to give here. 2 does not go into 1 here. Someone's got to back out. The Jag does back out. Okay.
And nice cojones move there by Fujikawa, just calling the Jag's bluff. Like, all right, well, if you're gonna do this, I'm gonna do it too. So nice job there by Fujikawa. Hawaiian Rush on Twitch. If you got the bandwidth, you want to go support him. He's a homie of Tracklicious and myself. So
the best Hawaiian ACC sim racer.
Yeah, the only Hawaiian ACC sim racer that streams.
That streams, yes, I should say.
Yeah. Also, Jared Seckham pressuring Narsimon, and then Narsimon is gunning towards Provi.
Ooh, what happened here? Andreas having a little bit of an off-track excursion. Was it assisted? Looks like it maybe was.
Yeah, let's see if Jelson Cruz maybe just gives him a bumper tap.
Ooh, yes. Big time.
They both get a little squealy on the tires. Nice recovery there by Mostachero. Only loses the 1 place right now, but then Toth is hot on him.
Professor Chronotis, though, is trying to deal with Toth right now, so Toth's got problems of his own that he needs to contend with before worrying about what's in front of him. Where are our faces? Yeah. They'll be back, don't worry.
They'll be back, yes.
See a car off the track there. It's Provi. Wait. No, that's not Provolone. That's a Big Brain racing car.
That is Chris Rummaker.
Whoops. They have very similar liveries.
Yeah, well, they're both Big Brains. Warren Veach. I have been told that it's pronounced Veach.
Okay.
Veach. And Chris Rummaker. Steve Tomazic is Rummaker's teammate. Different cars though. One's in the Porsche, obviously. One's in the Aston.
There is Jason Provolone. He is under threat from the Ferrari behind of Narsimon. Provolone's off the track as well. This is going to give the opportunity to Narsimon, and I think it's going to be an easy one.
Yeah, that wide T1 tactic is just not necessarily working for everybody.
No, and that's also going to put him under threat from Seckham behind. That's Jared Seckham behind the wheel of the BMW currently. And Provi's going to be trying to go back at him around the outside. This is going to be ambitious. They all tuck 1 by 1, though. That was very close racing from all 3 of those guys. That could have ended in disaster.
Solid job by those 3 guys, because they, like you said, that could have been way worse than it was, but they did it cordially, and Narsimon made a good move. So
all of this battling has allowed Oliver Ewing to catch up as well.
And we saw how Ewing did in the wet in that McLaren, and you wonder maybe if a lot of guys had kind of a wet, maybe a 50-50 setup, more of a kind of combo setup to deal with the wet conditions and the dry conditions. And I think that's maybe what we're seeing with Ewing here, because he doesn't have quite the exits that he's getting from the other guys.
Yeah, it very well could be. McLaren as well, just not necessarily the car known for its acceleration. Granted, I don't think any of these cars are that we're looking at. So, not really saying much.
Also, the Dutchman, Tim Trickett, taking fastest lap right now. He's currently sitting in P3 and hunting down Ollie Raza. So we'll have to keep our eye on those guys. But we've had we're half an hour in. We've had a little bit of a spread.
Oliver doesn't seem to be wanting to waste any time. As soon as he got behind the car there of Jared Seckham, he is already trying to make a move onto him. He did lose out a little bit.
Trying to see if there's going to be a lapse in consistency from Seckham. These three guys, actually really these four, have just been super nice and consistent. Not necessarily, mind-blowing times, but man, consistency is something that you really need, and this mid-pack is crazy consistent right now.
Thought these guys were getting maybe a little bit of side-by-side action. Doesn't look like they are, though.
They're getting close. They're getting close. We'll be back. We'll be back to see them in a sec.
Looks like
I guarantee it.
This is gonna go side-by-side, I think. Professor Knotus, little deep into the next turn. That's gonna be an attempt to carry that momentum. Not quite. That Ferrari doing a great job of defense. Patrick Toth in front, doing everything he can in that Chip versus Ganassi. Wait, Chip versus Ganassi?
Yeah, Chip Ganassi racing, Ford Chip Ganassi racing Ferrari by QV Motorsports.
There you
go. That's the full team name. Yeah.
You gotta say the full team name every single time. If not, it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like Professor Chrono trying to do some calculations quick to get past that QV Motorsports car because I want to say he's kind of sick of seeing the rear end of that Ferrari.
That was really good. I like that.
Doing some calculations?
Yeah, for the professor doing some calculations. I like that.
I think another time I said that he's going to have some homework to do or he's going to go grade papers or something, but
not as funny.
This one.
Not as funny.
Thank you. All right. Well, noted. The Bobster guy took his own Ford Rari out of the race.
Oof.
Hilariously ironic name. Ollie Ewig. Trying to see if these guys are going to battle themselves into his position. So he wants to... I thought he was going to try to go for a double overtake.
This is giving Narasimhan quite the gap in front of them, too. Narasimhan was grouped up with these guys, but is now like 2 seconds ahead of Provolone, and Provolone's about a second ahead of these guys.
Yeah, and Narasimhan, I think, just had real bad luck early on in the race. As we watch Ollie Ewig go a little wide there, but had some interesting stuff happen to him early on, which has now bopped him down into 8th. I don't think his pace is 8th place pace. Try saying that 5 times fast.
That's honestly, why I'm in the booth, my brain couldn't even comprehend it.
He doesn't have 8th place race pace. Bars, dude. That was... Anyway, yeah, he's definitely going to try to build the gap between those guys because I don't think that he wants to be battling them anymore. But Jared Seckham and Jason Provolone, they want to be battling each other.
All right, I guess Ollie Roz is caught up with Eric Neville.
Yeah, those three... Again, just we've seen a different podium almost every time. I don't think we've had a identical podium in this series.
I will fact check.
Someone can fact check me, or one of the guys in the truck can
I will
ring me and let me know. But the thing is that these guys are so competitive in that top 3. That top 5 is just wicked fun. Of course, we've now got some spread between 3 and 4 and 4 and 5, but still, we have about 20 minutes till a driver swap. Also, getting reports that the backer Porsche terminal damage. They had they had to relinquish the Porsche back to the truck, and they will not finish the finale, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I think they chalked that one up due to a damaged radiator. came in and struck the wall from a rear end and put it into retirement, unfortunately.
Yeah, and in a bigger endurance race, I bet you anything that they try to fix that and get back out on track. But with an hour and a half left, pack it up, head home, and get ready for the next series. Which, by the way, Mike, our next series is going to be pretty competitive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think end of February. I know. This is a fact. End of February, we're going to be heading to Suzuka to do a qualifying race for the Tracklicious GT3 Pro Series, and hosted by yours truly and Mike Nause.
Yes, indeed. And you can see it on screen right now. This is our calendar of upcoming events. We have our GT3 Pro Series, as he said, starting at the end of February. As well, we have next Saturday, in fact, we will be commentating the 12 hours at Bathurst.
We will, yeah. We'll be heading down under and doing that. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of that you'll be joining me for, but I will be there for the full 12 hours, so that will be fun.
He will be there. Yes, I'll be there for part of it. But yep, we ride together, sort of, kind of, part way.
You ride together when it's convenient. I ride exactly. The whole. I'm in it for the long run.
Yep, I come in when I'm required to keep you awake, I think is the goal there. But of course that's a combined series between 949 Racing, RIP, Box 3 Motorsports, which I am a part of, and then of course Tracklicious, which is where you guys are at right now.
Yes, indeed. Twitch.tv/Tracklicious. You can also find us on YouTube and SimGrid if you're interested in events. But back to the action. Nick Fujikawa.
Yeah, enough shameless plugs.
I think he actually just had a big error, but actually we have a car spin around on track. It's one of the big brain cars. Veach, my bad, is off into the grass. Looks like this might just be a simple mistake of too much curb. No, he just understeers massively. Where did that understeer come from?
Yeah, the Aston can definitely do that. It is incredibly stable, but it does have an issue with that understeer for sure.
Car actually just decided to go straight.
Yeah, it did not want to move. No, we're done. That's it. It's over. Look at this. Hunting down the rear of that Aston. Vivid Global. Get him the order to make the send. This bus stop I
don't know why everyone wants to make a move there. I haven't seen one work.
I mean, it can. It's a risky move. I think we saw Fujikawa earlier call the bluff of that Jag.
No, that was a defense.
It was a defense, yes, but I think, in all honesty, you kind of gotta. I take that as a win for Fujikawa for sure.
I'm just saying we've never seen a successful overtake there.
Run, yeah.
I find it very interesting that drivers continuously are trying.
Yet we have an hour and 17 minutes left, so.
Although I guess this track, like I said, it's a very high-speed track, and that's going to be actually the heaviest braking point pretty much on the track. So one of the best opportunities, even though it is extremely risky.
You get that great run. You get that great run down that straight, and it's just a blast. It's also a bit of a cardiovascular test when you come up to that bus stop, and all of a sudden you're like, I gotta do some turning of the car here.
It's such a fun sector though, as you're looking for that 300-meter board or yard. I actually have no idea what it is.
I think it is the 300 board. Yeah, the 300 board, and whatever measurement it is.
Yep. And then you do that downshift into fourth and then just accelerate off of those curbs and try not to slingshot your car into the grass, which is really easy to do by taking too much curb.
And by the way, we don't do track guides or anything because I think Mike might be wrong on those analytics.
On the gearing?
Let's see.
No, I know I'm right.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, look. Oh, he's down into third.
He was going side by side. Chill.
He was down into third?
Yeah, because he was next to it. Chill.
Look at this.
In fact,
Global Racing, he's seen a lot of Aston Martin right now.
The man who told me those exact tips is the man that we're on board with right now. Oliver Ewing was the man that gave me that advice.
Trying to make you a little bit better racer, right?
He did. I mean, I didn't drive Watkins Glen too much because I stopped sim racing before the DLC came out. But now that I'm back in it, Watkins Glen is a really, really fun track, actually.
It is a blast. There are some people, a couple people that have told me it's boring.
Oh, everyone
says
that.
How can it be boring? This is a ton of fun, dude. And we've seen it here. We got crazy action. We got little mini battles popping up everywhere.
Wow.
Speaking of mini battles, Chrono, Raymaker, and Patrick Toth, along with Mastachero, they're duking it out a little bit. Nice little four-way here between these guys. Veach and Bronson Turner also duking it out right behind them. So we have a little pack here for this mid-section, if you will.
There's a big send there from Toth. It didn't work out for him, but I really like the attempt.
You know, you're an hour in. You want to maybe get a little bit more aggressive, fresher. Hopefully a guy makes a mistake in front of you and you end up making it stick.
Man, these guys do not want to give up.
Yeah, look at this. Into the bus stop, and there's Ollie Ewing making a nice send on Seckham. No, wait, no, they're in the same. Yeah. They're in the same position. Yep.
Seckham just catching up to these guys because they've been battling so extremely hard these past few laps and losing lap time. Oliver needs to get this overtake done, but Provolone does not want to let him by.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to either force Provi into a mistake, or Seckham's going to have to make a mistake for him to get less pressure from the rear. That sentence didn't come out the way I wanted it to at all, but you know what I mean, right? He doesn't want that. Yes, Mom.
He said pressure from the rear.
I did say pressure from the rear. My mom is in, and his name is Jason Provolone. So, and there does need to be some energy going on for Jared Seckham. That is for sure.
Ooh.
Some Toth action.
Ooh, some Toth
according to Stroker63, is the best thought, not best Toth. Which is hilarious.
Oh my god, as soon as I switch off. That's
it, the nature of the beast. Ollie Ewing taking it in that straight, which is unusual because the McLaren doesn't have very intense straight line speed. So my mom whipping out the cheese puns in chat. Shout out to Dana Smedra.
Is that actually your mother?
That is actually my mom, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, Blue's mother.
Yeah, Jason Provolone now going to have to deal with the power thirst BMW behind him. And let's see if he puts up the same kind of defense that he did against that Vivid Global Racing McLaren. Because if he does, Jared and Justin are going to have a heck of a time getting past him. Because he put on a Checo Perez type clinic against Ollie, in my opinion.
I don't think there was any debate about that. That was an extreme defense from Provolone, and it looks like he's going to have to keep that up. We'll see, though. We can take a look here at Patrick Toth. Patrick Toth is in a fairly comfortable position compared to Andreas, though, at least, who is behind him. Andreas with Chris Raymaker and Professor Cronotis right on the tail. Cronotis trying to make a move. Everybody's trying to make a move on everybody, it looks like. But nobody can make a move on anyone, so we just all tuck in and continue driving at this point.
Continue going one by one. The ants go marching on, right? But the thing for Chris, that 62 Porsche Raymaker car, or Big Brain Racing, excuse me, he's going to want to out-nimble that BMW. He's going to want to see if there's any sort of option there is, speaking of options,
Ollie Raza getting overtaken, it looks like, but not quite. Tim Troquette is... What an attempt, though. And what a defense.
He slips just a little bit of a mistake, and that's how good these guys are. They make a little bit of a mistake and then crank themselves right back up into a potential overtaking position. But, Troquette goes just a little wide, hits the curb, and loses some of that momentum and that speed. And Ollie Raza says, cool, thanks very much. I'm going to stay where I'm at. But they're going to be coming up to lap traffic here, and that may tighten this battle up for 1, 2, and 3. But look at that. 1, 2, and 3, again, just less than 2 seconds away from each other. I love this podium stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And so, Yuki, I'm sorry, I didn't make fun of him. I was actually complimenting him. Kind of. I mean, I wasn't not. I was just stating a fact. He's not on his lonesome. He's not.
I think he was talking to someone else calling him a thought in chat, which is hilarious.
Okay. No. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's the best thought. Let's see some Toth action. Best thought.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's all coming together.
Okay.
For Mr. Mike Nause.
I'm
and
not
it's almost
slow
gonna
at
come
all.
together for. Yeah, it's gonna come together for Tim Troquette. He's bump drafting.
Yeah, let's hope they don't actually come together.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy because the P4 of Povalchuk is not far behind. 7 seconds. And like we said earlier, an incident here, you're losing more than just one position. So Ollie Raza at a 146.3 last lap. Tim Troquette at a 146.2. And Provolone's going to make his mandatory pit stop.
We see some cars coming into the pits. We see also some side-by-side action from Andreas Mostachero here and Big Brain?
Chris Raymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Big Brain, Chris Raymaker, and Professor Chronotis right behind him.
That's not the right line.
Using all of that runoff. Can be good, can be bad.
Yeah, let's hope we don't start seeing some drive-through penalties popping up because I have no idea. I don't think this track is too bad when it comes to warding on track limits.
The track limits at T1 can be sketchy, for sure. And Chrono making a send? Not quite. He backed out.
Holy slide!
Chris Raymaker.
What the heck just happened?
What a save by Chris Raymaker right there. Wow. Nice driving there.
And that was also a save from behind as well, as the cars had to avoid him. We see Chronotis trying to go side by side here, and the Porsche is going to take the curb, and then the back end just gets sent out.
Oh, man.
What a save.
Tell me how you know how they drive in Tokyo. I think is the line from Tokyo Drift, but wow, yeah, some serious Teriyaki Boys action in that Big Brain Porsche. That was awesome.
Crazy. He actually stayed on track the entire time.
Yeah, the best part is that the field stayed pretty close. Ollie Raza jumping into the pits there. We're going to see the Alpha Dog. Alpha Dog Nate Lamlin coming to that car. Tim Troquette taking a little bit longer stint.
How is the fuel on the Aston Martin?
The fuel on the Aston Martin is really good.
Like there's it can last more than an hour and 10 minutes.
I want to say yes, but I'm gonna get someone should fact check me before I do, and I have to put my foot in my mouth. LOL. But it's really pretty fuel efficient because it's good on tires too, because it's always picked. It's always picked in endurance races. I see it all the time for long periods of time.
And Ollie Raza is out of the car. Nate Lamlin now behind the wheel. No drive-through penalty for them. Perfect pit stop.
Nice job there by the team and the pit crew to get them in and out. And kudos to Ollie Raza for not breaking the pit speed limiter, as we saw Nate do last night. We have a change in lead. Tim Troquette. Eric Neville bounced into the pits. We're going to see some Peter O'Brien driving, some Pobby.
Thank you, Comrade Yuki, for the follow. Much appreciated.
Comrade Yuki, I love it. Tim Troquette going to try to Troquette and Povalchuk maybe going for an overcut here, along with Meyer and Horman. I'm no strategist, but I want to say that the overcut could work out in Tim's favor if he builds enough of a gap.
We see Mark Valencer here coming out of the pits in P23 behind Stefan Lindauer.
Yep,
Also
swapped out Nick Fujikawa.
Yep. The fastest Hawaiian streamer in ACC is now out of the car. His stint is over. 52-minute and 25-second stint for him. Number 75 car continues on.
And he's going to try to catch up to Lindauer, who's more than likely going to pit here in a few minutes for
he's already pit.
Casey Schutte.
Lindauer?
Yep.
Wait. Why is he already pit?
He has?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, they had the pit stop to fix damage, so they may have fueled up. I know Casey was feeling a little under the weather, so maybe Lindauer is going to take the whole race.
I think he definitely has to pit again because he pit at the 29-minute mark. I don't think the Aston has an hour and a half of fuel in it at full chap.
At full chap. I think you are correct there. So there's going to definitely have to be a third stop, and he did have a fair amount of damage after that run-in with the wall. So the accident at the bus stop.
30 minutes. It's a good question. 30 minutes till we see some clouds rolling overhead and some rain starting to potentially fall from the sky.
Now, these guys did have some rain practice in quali. We had a very wet qualifying, so it kind of braces them for this. But yeah, the last half hour essentially is going to be a little chaos.
And actually, a good point that you made earlier being that some of these drivers might have a split setup in that they have good car for the rain and a good car for the dry. So we'll see if some of these drivers, maybe they went for just a straight dry setup, might hinder them come the time that the rain decides to fall.
Yeah, they could have. They can combo it, that 50-50 setup, which is a risky move because it may not ever rain, and then you're stuck in that weird spot of having that 50-50. And shout out to good DJ raiding us with a party of party of 3.
And as well, dropping a follow. Thank you very much.
Let's go.
Hope your stream went really well today. Or Carter, Carter, Casey Carter with the follow. Thank you guys for joining. I hope your stream went really well today. We're currently about an hour into our 2-hour race. We're just getting into the pit stop phase right now. Cars spread out on track. We're currently looking at our probably race leader. Come the time the pit stop phase comes to an end, Peter O'Brien, I think is our... Let's see. Can I see the pit stops? Oh my goodness. Why is this so backwards? Yes, he is the preliminary leader by quite a bit. Nate Lamlin, the next car behind. Teammates with Ollie Raza. They had quite the first stint.
And then if things work out the way that I'm thinking they will, which is dangerous when I think and use my brain, but that could put, depending on the gap between Narasimhan and everybody else, could put Narasimhan on a podium position, depending, right?
Yeah, I think Narasimhan was, where is he? He is sitting,
currently
yeah,
P18.
Down in P18 currently, but third person that has made their pit stop. It'll be interesting. I think Tim Troquette will come out ahead.
I think so. I think he's putting
and
that
Pavelchuk.
They're putting that big time gap. But I'm curious to see when Troquette comes in. We may come in this lap, actually, as he goes down through this bottom portion, the toe and the heel, I believe is what it's called, of Watkins Glen.
Dude, that is a tricky sector. Sorry to interrupt, but the toe and the heel, that sector freaking is tough to drive. It is so tricky to get right, so easy to wash your speed and just run wide in that toe sector.
Yeah, you can see when you're driving your Delta, you're like, hey, I'm having a pretty good lap, and then you see your Delta just start to switch from green to red. And you're like, man, I didn't do it. And here we go. Tim Troquette is into the pits. That 112 Dutch BMW.
Nate Lamlin there, we just saw getting by Andreas Mostachero.
and it's a good battle pick there by Masachero. Just getting out of the way. He knows that Nate's got the speed.
Yeah, this is the corner that I'm talking about. It's a blind right-hander uphill where it's a double apex, and it's just trying to maximize your minimum speed throughout is such a... Look at that. It's so difficult to know when to get on the throttle and when to... You can either lose so much time there or gain it. I don't know. I suck at that part of the track.
And Nate Lamlin did a really good job combating the understeer of the Aston, because we saw it earlier with another Aston Martin just going a little too wide, and that car did not want to turn in. Nate Lamlin proved that it is possible to do, and it's possible to do fast. So shout out to him. Turquette now leaving the pits. Vivid Global McLaren, Hajo Horman currently sitting in the pits as well. Now leaving.
Chronotis not wanting to fight that.
Nope, just taking it. Chrono watching Nate Lamlin take on the mountain at Bathurst last night. We were having a good time sitting in Lamlin's Twitch chat. Dan Schneider, that slightly offensive Ferrari, taking his pit stop, currently sitting in P22. Bronson Turner in that Makes Me Hungry car. That 81 McLaren also taking his pit stop. Peter O'Brien stealing the fastest lap away from the Dutchman Troquette, and they're gonna come together again in a slightly different position this time. They're in P7 and P8, so.
Yeah, Troquette coming out of the pits just 2 seconds behind Peter O'Brien. So after that pit strategy ran down, we see, but now I think Peter O'Brien is getting caught up behind some traffic. He does get out of the way, I think, actually. No, is that Mark Valencer? That is Mark Valencer behind. 3, 2, 1? No, it's not. That's Cruz.
No, it's, Jelson Cruz.
Oh,
Jelson
Cruz
right
was the
him.
one that he just overtook. Okay, so Tim Troquette now needs to get away.
Yeah, Cruz just getting, picking that battle again. He knows that Poppy's got some serious pace behind him. So, Schnalzger, your preliminary race leader right now, still has to pit. Povelchuk sitting in the pits right now. Mayer in the pits. And Ollie Ewig also in the pit lane. So we get to that hour mark, and we're seeing a lot of driver swaps, as well as a little bit of refuel, as I think Ollie Ewig is solo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Take a look.
Jared Seckham currently sitting in P2.
Yeah, Oliver Ewig is solo. Hajo Horman as well, other Vivid guy. He is solo. And should be one more. Who am I missing? Wolfgang. Wolfgang
yep.
is teammates with Rene Rosberger. Isn't that a...
There's Ratzenberger.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Ratzenberger.
I thought that name sounded familiar.
I believe Ratzenberger unfortunately passed away at Imola. I believe that is the Ratzenberger that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
so
Roland Ratzenberger.
Yeah, vastly different than Ratzenberger. There's a T in there somewhere.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so letters tend to appear and disappear as they will, so...
And Tim Troquette moving himself into a top 5 position, and he's got some competition ahead of him now. Andy Mayer in that 666 Audi. No swap for Andy Mayer. Could have sworn he had a teammate. Could have sworn he was with Landry. But maybe they were having some driver issues there and decided to go just stick with Andy Mayer, doing a double stint here. Hobby, Peter O'Brien, running into some traffic. He's got that Villasenor 75 BMW in front of him. Looking like he's just going to breeze right by him. Yep. And there's that Tim Troquette moving up on Andy Mayer, and this is going to be a battle. Of course, Andy Mayer maybe felt a little slighted by the Porsche of Backer earlier, so he's motivated. I don't think this is going to be an easy overtake for Troquette.
Looking at the times, I disagree. No, it's Tim Troquette's lapping quite a bit quicker than Andy Mayer. in general, fastest lap from Andy Mayer is going to be, last lap not going to be relative because the pit stops, but his fastest lap is going to be a 1:45.6 from Andy Mayer, and Tim Troquette with a 1:44.9. So about 5/10 difference between them. I feel like Tim Troquette should be able to get this overtake done relatively quickly, but it is a tricky track to get an overtake.
So we're on opposite sides of the spectrum there. I think I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking Mayer's going to put up some pretty decent defense. Of course, Mayer's tires a little newer. He's on I believe he's on an out lap comparative to Troquette, who's already had a lap on these tires.
And here we go. We're going to see the move down the inside, and that's going to be a bit of an oversteer moment for Andy Mayer. And Tim Troquette is through, and I think he should have the pace to pull away. Less than a full lap.
So I was in fact way wrong.
Yeah.
Nice job there.
Their pace is definitely, I don't think that's Andy Mayer's battle necessarily. Andy Mayer battling for a good position, but Tim Troquette battling for that podium, and he wants to stick it to Peter O'Brien, who is now 4.5 seconds up the road. So he did lose out a bit of time.
No teammate for Tim Troquette again this week. We had he was solo at Silverstone, and he's solo here today. But he had Yannick Koerts out of Hungary, his teammate, who wasn't able to make it out to New York with us. So unfortunate, because Koerts is fast. So Schnalzger still has to make his pit stop. He's going real long. We're 36 laps into this race. 54 minutes, and in half an hour we should see another set of pit stops. So what do you think?
Yeah, we definitely are going to need to see a couple drivers making a pit stop soon. It'll be interesting for the drivers that made their stop around the 1 hour mark, because they do have that opportunity to go for another stop and a new set of boots, but I don't know if that's going to be the fastest strategy.
I think in all honesty we're going to see some wet, some rain boot goofing out of these guys, because we do have that potential of rain in half an hour. So we'll see how the strategists for every team, I'm saying that wrong on purpose, but we'll see how these guys do.
I actually forgot about the rain.
Lamlin. The rain will throw a wrench in things. Should make for some interesting content for us, and a little bit of a hellscape for the guys that just got in the car, I think.
We'll see here. Toth, he doesn't want to get out of the way. He's currently a pit stop down from Nate Lamlin, and actually we're going to see him coming into the pits.
He threw the blinker up, letting Lamlin know that he is going to take the pit. Nice work there by Toth. Great sportsmanship. Now there's that 6-second gap between Pobby and Troquette. See if Troquette can. He is actually shrinking that down a little bit bigger. Pobby's on another one, I guess.
Yeah.
Looking at these times right now, the gap between them, and Pobby's moving. I think the plan is that we're gonna see some pit stops for wet tires, and he wants to have a nice, comfortable gap between his essentially rival and himself. So
a few more drivers still need to make their pit stop here. They should be making them relatively soon. Though Chronotis, I will say, Chronotis wouldn't surprise me if he stays out to the last lap. It's just how he is.
Yeah, just keeps going for as long as he possibly can, running on 1 liter. Found out this week, Chrono, big time skiing guy. Really, really loves his winter sports skiing. So he's probably pretty happy to be here in upstate New York. Maybe he'll go hit the slopes after this race. Maybe not. I don't think it's cold enough.
I live on the West Coast, so my weather, I don't know too much about the New York area. I'm just a tourist here. Happy to be here in New York with you, Blue.
Yeah, upstate New York's got some decent skiing. We were watching some crazy stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I can do that." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And he pulls up a video of him doing pretty close to what these guys are doing. I was like, all right, that foot in my mouth. Nice job.
Professor
nice job.
by day, a skier by, well, other days, because you probably wouldn't want to ski at night.
He owned me, so he absolutely shut me up. That's for sure. But he's got to have good hips, good knees.
Nate Lamlin is quite far behind Andy Mayer right now, which is surprising. I would have thought Nate Lamlin would have closed that gap up, been more in contention for the podium. Mike, welcome.
10 seconds. Mike Burkhoff. I don't think he was able to make the race today. I don't believe he's in the race, which is a bummer. We always love seeing some Nepal representation on ACC.
And one of the few Nepalese drivers. Is it? Wait,
Napoleon?
No, I think it's
Napoleon.
I know. Yeah, like I say, I know that Napoli is in Italy, but
Yep.
I don't know. I know they're called Nepalese people.
Anyway, we're talking about elevation and climbing heights. Peter O'Brien is currently climbing the highest of heights, sitting at P1, and he's got the fastest lap.
Ooh, he's flying.
He is hauling, and I think he really wants to try to stake it to Tim Trickett in a competitive sense. You know, these guys have been neck and neck for a lot of the series. We saw it at Spa, we saw it at Silverstone. I think they really want to be hyper competitive, and you just see that was a great shot right there of Peter O'Brien coming around the corner, and right behind him is that BMW, that ominous all black BMW, no livery on that Tim Trickett. He's going for pure speed. There's no wrap.
Got to get every milligram in terms of weight.
There's no no paint, nothing. They're going full carbon fiber, and they both want to try to stick it to each other in a very competitive sense, and that's what's fun about those two guys driving.
Peter O'Brien's lapping a second a lap faster right now. In fact, it's not even just, it's a second and 2/10 a lap faster.
And that's competitive. That's hyper competitive for these guys. And it makes it fun to watch. And I think with the potential of, we kind of sound like a broken record, we keep going back to it, but the potential of that little bit of a wash of rain could really mix things up. We saw Eric Mellon and Peter O'Brien do a pretty good job in quali, so
looks like it'll be about 10 minutes till that rain starts to fall potentially.
And it's going to be a light rain, so what they could do, the process of the drivers right now and the teams is going to be, do we maybe try to just up the traction control, up the ABS, maybe fiddle with our brake bias, stay on dries, and try to work it out? Or do we just hit for wets, stay on wets, maybe run a little hot wets, and then really wait for the rain to come? Could be. That's the gamble that you have. That's the dice roll that you take when the rain comes. And it's going to make things interesting for these guys. They're all processing right now. I know that they have a teammate that they're sitting with, or someone that they're in a Discord call with, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, let's figure this out. Come on. So it'll be interesting. It
really depends on where you are on the track when the rain hits, I think, and that'll be a big determining factor. If as soon as you cross the line and that rain starts to fall, I feel like you're not in. Well, I don't know. I actually it's going to be really interesting. A light rain at the start here. Don't know how much it's going to affect these other drivers, but we'll see if. And actually, no, that was not for position. My bad.
And Mike Burkhoff actually brings up a really good point. It depends on how much gas you have, right? If you can run the full time, so they may do a little bit of a little splash and dash, get a little extra gas in the car, and then potentially switch. I think we're going to see switching to wets, depending on how bad the rain is. That's going to be the key.
Yeah, definitely. And it should be hitting relatively soon. Clouds are getting more dense in the sky, and it's getting a little bit darker. You can see outside the window of our commentary booth. And it's going to make for an interesting bus ride to the airport. What the heck?
Oh, no! It's
Gerasimov.
yeah, Gerasimov and A. Ballard coming together, and I think that was just a little impatience there by Gerasimov.
I think the man didn't hit his brakes in time. He tried getting out of the way. I'll give him credit. He tried, but
man, that's a little bit of a bad look by Gerasimov, but you know, kudos to him for at least attempting to correct it, right?
He recognized his mistake, but he recognized it too late, unfortunately.
Just a little bit, un petit, just a little bit too late.
The heck happened to Potts Weaver?
Yeah, Potts Weaver.
What's he doing down here in last?
It's down 4 laps. I believe it's a late connection, maybe.
Yeah, you might be.
Oh, right. They had big wreckage.
Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, they had some big wreckage. Yeah. Ducky and Weaver in an accident that ended up taking out the backer Porsche.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, which is why they're about 4 laps down. And there's a 10-second gap. Peter O'Brien has now built a 10-second gap between him and Triquet.
He's comfy. Why don't we ride along with him? Watch this man.
Let's.
I just want to see what a lap of this looks like here as we're coming into T1, braking at just where the track or at the first sort of polystyrene barrier board, carrying that speed into second gear. Interesting. Okay. Up flat out through this entire sector. You're not going to lift off the throttle at all. Up into 5th, getting ready to hit 6th when you go into this straight here. And even going to catch a little bit of the slipstream of the 26 car in front up into 6th. We're looking for that 300-meter board where we're going to be braking really hard. Okay, we're braking at the 250 board. He's got bigger pulse than I do. Fair enough.
Yeah, that Marshall hut right there is a really good brake marker. Never goes away.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more aggressive, and that's what Bobby's going for.
And then through the high-speed left-hander here. Everything on this track is high-speed, though. And now the blind right-hander that is the toe. Double apex, trying to get it right, maximizing that minimum speed, getting on the throttle as early as you can, and he does that perfectly. Wow. Just extends to the perfect,
the whole track right there.
And nothing more. Braking at the 125-meter board, or not board, but marker roughly, getting on that throttle nice and early, coming into the weird hairpin kind of thing that I always think is the Nürburgring chicane.
It is a very awkward corner, and you definitely find yourself oversteering or overcorrecting yourself, and it can really, really screw you up. I crashed there a lot.
And then
my bane of my existence. But look at the way Hobby is using all of the track, and it is so vital for those quick times. He's built an 11-second gap between him and Triquet. Now, I'm also kind of curious, did Triquet maybe take different tires?
I think they both took tires because Tim Triquet came out 2 seconds behind.
But Triquet is really behind. Maybe Peter O'Brien, it could be Peter O'Brien is just absolutely cracked here at Watkins.
Looking at his lap times, that seems to be the case. Tim Triquet lapping very average with the rest of the field, if not above average. Peter O'Brien is just a rocket.
Yeah, I think he was I was under the hypothesis that Triquet took wet tires, and that's why he was struggling and toning down. But I think Peter O'Brien is just on another one.
Yeah, no,
right now.
Holy rain! What the heck?
And it's
just all of a sudden pouring. Okay, out of literally thin air, and we see the Honda slipping and sliding. That's Poznikanov. He is already struggling in that Honda, and Ollie dives into the pits right away. Looks like he's going to be going for wet tires. We see other cars diving into the pits. That is going to be the car of Seckham.
Yep, that was the Menergy. The Menergy BMW.
Kronotis stays out.
This is going to be where fiddling, you're going to see a lot of guys messing with electronics on their wheels. Messing a lot of electronics on the wheels, on the board, the button boxes that they have in these vehicles.
Provolone
they're going to be finagling
Peter O'Brien stays out. Are we going to see Tim Troquette box?
It'll be it's
out.
a bold move, Cotton. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Nope, he's sticking out.
Very
I think the rain is
safe decision.
I think it's manageable right now, and it's going to get a lot wetter, so they're going to save that pit stop. Ollie Ewig came in, that Vivid Global Racing second, and Tomazic, Big Brain and Menergy respectively. Poe in that 916 Ferrari, and Versosa in the 463. Mayer and Lamlin both come. So
lots of drivers coming in. Hodjo Horman, I think, coming in. Yep, for Vivid.
I'm liking the cojones that are on our top two right now. They want to battle. They want to be there with each other. They're not going to back out. And man, it is providing us with some killer content.
It makes sense. It makes sense that Peter O'Brien stays out. He has that 12-second gap. He can afford to lose some time on an outlap rather than risking it and cooking his tires and ruining his race. I'm really shocked that Tim Troquette, who just doesn't quite have the pace that Peter O'Brien has, didn't just go for the gamble. He doesn't have much to lose, and he could have gained some pretty good time, I think, onto Peter O'Brien, and at least would have been worth the risk, maybe. So I think we are going to see both of them box this lap. You can see that
almost
McLaren.
14 seconds. They're both getting a little squirrely dandling through these corners right now.
Looking about 6 seconds a lap slower by the average, or by the end of the lap. I think he's currently 5 seconds down, maybe 5.5. So we'll see. I think he is going to definitely come into the pits this lap, or is he?
We'll see.
No, he's not. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness gracious! Let's see.
Peter, 6.5 seconds slower this lap. That I actually don't think is a good decision.
Oh man, I was watching. I was on board with Tim Troquette, and he had a nice snap of
Tim Troquette's in. That's really quick.
Yep.
Okay, no. Pit line. That's not the pit line. Okay.
No, thank goodness. Man, that would have spiced things up, right?
I really thought he just got a drive through, but no, that was not the pit line. I think he's all good. He slowed down before it.
And he was getting squirrely through Sector 3, so I think even messing with electronics and stability, it's going to be hard to drive these cars. But we saw Peter O'Brien in the rain earlier. We saw him do it.
It's only getting wetter. I think that this was a poor choice from Peter, but we'll see. We'll see if it pays off. I think Tim Troquette is going to manage to gain a lot on him here in the pit stop.
I think it's going to come down to pure skill right here, and these guys are really good.
Tim's gonna need an extremely fast outlap if he wants to take advantage of this. He's gonna have the fresher tires, at least on the wets. The track condition, it'll get heat into them quicker, so he will have his tires up to temp. This should be the advantage towards Tim. Rene Rosberger is insane.
Steering input by Peter was just insane in the McLaren. He's really having to fight the car. Could have been a mistake for not coming in last lap.
He's 7 seconds down on his previous lap. He's lost 13 seconds to the rain. I mean, he's almost lost a pit stop at this point, and he still has to make another one.
And we'll see. He's definitely coming in this lap. 100%. If he stays out, he's lost it.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's coming in. That's following the pit line in.
Yep. I was gonna say he kind of teased us a little bit last time, so we'll see.
Now it's all eyes on Tim Troquette. He's stuck in traffic, though. Jason Provolone is in front of him. He needed this lap to be the fastest lap of the rain session, basically, to get every advantage he can out onto Peter O'Brien to gain as much time. I don't think he's going to overtake him in the pits by any stretch, but I think he had a good chance to gain. We see Provolone getting out of the way for him. Gives him more open air.
Nice move there by Provolone, not holding him up. Could have definitely made that pass, that blue flag pass a little bit more challenging. Not a chance. Good job, nice sportsmanship there by the cheese man to let Tim go as he goes into the latter part of Sector 3 here, and Hobby and crew are still in the pit lane.
Yep, they have yet to start moving. I think they will start moving here relatively soon.
This is going to come down to... There we go. The crew dropped the 120 McLaren, and he's on the move.
That traffic really hurt Tim Troquette this lap. I think he had it and a really good chance, but just unfortunately, getting caught up behind
Versosa,
some slower cars, and it really ruins it. And then Peter O'Brien comes out with still a fairly comfortable lead out onto Tim Troquette. 10 seconds.
11.
And gaining, yeah.
Yeah, 12. Currently 12 that I have right now. Versosa getting out of the way finally. And it was kind of tough for Versosa to find a good spot that didn't penalize either of them, right? Because if you try to take it in a hairpin or in that sector 3, you can end up bumping into each other, stuff like that. So tough call by the Ferrari there.
Is Nate still on dries?
I don't think so.
No, he's 2 pit stops. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is.
I think though Poznikanov is.
Poznikanov rolling the dice.
I'm
Definitely rolling
pretty
the
sure
dice.
he still is on dries. He pit an hour into this race, and he only has 1 pit stop. So I don't think he's changed to wets just yet. He's going to be struggling in that Honda, but he looks pretty glued. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of driver input, and that's him. Again, we were talking about the adjusting settings and the amount of adjustability that these cars do have, in that sense that you can kind of make them work on the fly, but you can see that he's getting a little squirrely. He's definitely on dry tires for sure, and old dry tires, which are not doing too well for him. As he's getting pressure from a blue flag right behind him. That's Lindauer.
Or Casey Schutte, yeah. Casey Schutte is going to be getting probably really impatient, being like, come on, this guy's on dries in front of me, and I can't frickin' make a move on him. He's in P5. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of understeer. He's got to come into the pits this lap, or it's going to be race over for him.
And I'm also enjoying the battle for P13 right now. Provi and Tomazic duking it out. Tomazic has done pretty well in some greasier conditions. He was in a box 3 event in Spain that was a little bit of a wet kitchen floor scenario. So he's proven himself in wet conditions, this obviously being a lot wetter.
Andrew, what are you doing, dude? This man is bold. Okay.
Oh, man.
Is he? Maybe he is on wets. I don't think he is.
No, I really don't think so. I think he's gunning it.
He stayed ahead. How the heck
he's
did
being
that
a gamer.
happen?
Absolutely being a gamer.
Dude, the legend. You got 33 minutes, though, and the rain is only getting harder. Oh, it's actually going to lighten up in, like, probably 25 to 30 minutes, which is going to be close to the end of this race. I don't think this strategy is going to pay off, Poznikanov, but you're a faster driver than me, and I don't know, so...
As the line goes from dodgeball that I said earlier, it's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's sitting. He's
slipping and sliding everywhere, man.
He's in a P5 right now, and he's got Horman in the Vivid Global McLaren is 3 seconds behind him. There's traffic obviously in between those guys, but it's not looking great, and he's holding up traffic behind him.
I can't believe how much pace this guy has in these conditions. I mean, he's 6 seconds off of his lap time and and losing rapidly.
Also, to
basically
answer Mike
every
in
corner.
Chat, for the professor, he's currently sitting P11. He's lapping at 147.0 now in the rain. That was
50.
his last. Oh, sorry, excuse me, 57. His best lap is a 147.
This is ridiculous. There's the move from the Bentley to unlap himself.
Lucas Lichten.
Come on, just go in the pits. Please, Poznikanov, please pit. Please pit. Thank you.
Yep, there he goes.
Thank you.
And he's gonna lose that spot to Hajo Horman, who moves in with Global Racing, taking another top 5 position. And you gotta think with 30 minutes left, it's pretty much gonna be our top 5. Now a lot can happen in half an hour. We've seen it happen before. We saw it at Spa and we saw it at Silverstone. But we got to assume that top 5 for Vivid Global Racing, they got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think last week, let me take a look. I know they had 3 cars in the top 10 last week, actually.
Yeah, they have been wicked consistent with their finishes.
Yeah, we had the Vivid Global Racing Yellow, which is the McLaren. I think that is, let's see, is that the car of Hajo? Oliver Ewig. Okay, that's Oliver Ewig in the Vivid Global Racing Yellow. He managed to finish in 6th position last race. The Vivid Global Racing White finished in 7th, and Blue finished in 8th. So 6, 7, 8 for them last week, and they're looking to make an improvement. Yeah, Chronotis actually made a really smart pit strategy. He pit relatively early, and that allowed him to, I think, go onto wets before a lot of people.
Yeah, he did the undercut and got his tires probably a little bit warmer than everybody else, but here's Steve Tomazic on Landry. Or no, wait, that's, he's trying to unlap himself, looks like.
Yes. Or Landry just passed him to lap.
Yep.
Where did...
That was my mistake. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Where the heck did, Hold on here.
Chrono battling with Addy Toth. And it's gonna be easy for Chrono. Chrono moves up into P9 now for you, Mike. Mike Burkhoff, big Chrono fan, wasn't able to make the trip out to New York with his teammate. Feeling a little under the weather himself. So Chrono is doing this solo. I was racing with Mike Burkhoff. We were doing some practice at Bathurst, and he joined late. It's really funny, and he starts setting fastest times. And Chrono was trying out some different strategies of how to get down the mountain. And it was quite a good time. They're very, very good drivers, and they have a great visualization as far as the track goes. Peter O'Brien slicing his way through traffic. What are you looking at?
Provolone, Mastachero just made a mistake. Or Stephen Tomczyk? No, wait. Yeah, Stephen Tomczyk that was. Just made a mistake, and Provolone just got by. But I don't really know what the mistake was that he made. Poznikanov came out in 10th position in front of Patrick Toth.
And that's a rough go for the side attack guys, because they were running so well, quali, and they were running really, really hot throughout most of the race. But I think it was just a kind of a bold move to try to stay out on those dry tires.
Oh, shoot. Patrick Toth, what happened to you? In the Chip Ganassi Ford Ferrari Racing QV Motorsport. I think I covered everything, not in order.
I think you did. Yep. No, you got it.
The order, whatever, I don't care, but... Just understeers, washes wide, and turns into a frickin' pendulum. Yeah, look at that!
And that T1 that he's going down, it can be very spicy. There's puddles along there that can develop and just cause a little bit of hydroplaning. Even if you're on wet tires and you're good at the game, as Toth is.
Yeah, that's part of the beast of running a mid-engine car as well, is when the car goes, it goes. And the back end is really difficult to save, all that weight trying to force its way around. Not quite what you want.
I think he was just wanted to do his best Beyblade impression for us in the last. That was the goal there.
Poznikanov with a move on to Chronotis, almost. Wow.
Almost. And what's hilarious is now that Pozniakov's on those wet tires, he's just really putting out pace. So you got to think that he's probably a little mad at himself that he didn't switch earlier, because he maybe would have been a little bit more competitive now. But I mean, when you're right behind the leader and you're in P10, he's got to be pretty motivated right now, because the leader, Peter O'Brien, is a lap up from him. He's right there.
That's always demoralizing to me. I always hated getting lapped by the leader. I mean, it happened every race, so I don't know why.
I am a very experienced blue flag. I think I say that every stream, but I think I just got to say it a bunch because I got to reiterate it. I'm a very experienced blue flag.
Man, taking the go-karting line is Poznikanov, taking the extreme long way around, carrying the speed in these wet conditions. It's a really tricky thing to do in these GT cars, actually. But
Kerner doesn't want to go away too easy, though. It didn't look like there for a sec that he was just going to let Poznikanov walk away with P9, but the gap is growing. Now almost up to a second.
That's like a Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso overtake right there.
This guy doesn't know how to drive except for from first. Oh, Chrono made a little bit of a mistake going down the hill there. He
bumping and banging there from Steven Tomzik and who is that in front?
Kuhn.
Aaron
I
Kuhn.
believe that's Kuhn. Yeah, Aaron Kuhn. He makes me hungry. Makes me hungry, McLaren. And that gap just shot up. Adam Ballard trying to make a move on the other big brain. It actually looks like that's traffic in between them.
Lots of drivers having to deal with traffic right now, which actually, looking at the track map, half of the track is practically empty. All of the drivers are pretty much on one side of the track, even though no one's really on the same lap.
Yeah, you look at Wolfgang sitting in P6 and Nara Simon, they're on the top part of the track. Everybody else is on the bottom part of the track. So it is funny how that worked out. Everybody got smashed together. Got 25 minutes left, and it looks like the rain is going to lessen right at the end, but we're still going to be under wet conditions when we finish.
Yep.
And man, what a fun series this has been. You know, we had Spa, we had Silverstone, we had Nürburgring, and we had Watkins. Those are all bangers of tracks.
Absolutely, and this is the final race of the season, of course. Let's take a look at the standings season-wise. We have... I wish SimGrid displayed the name of the drivers rather than just the teams, because the team names are sometimes different than the team names in-game, which is really frustrating. But we have Peter O'Brien and Eric Neville leading the championship right now by 3 points over the DC Sim Racing team. DC Sim Racing team is going to be Tim Troquette and
Tim Troquette and Yannick Koertz. Yep.
And looks like they've actually went through a couple teammates this season. Interesting. But yeah, they will be 3 points behind. Where are they currently sitting in the position?
They're P2.
Okay, Tim Troquette. Yeah, of course. So this is going to come down to the very end. This is for the basically championship. The championship. Whoever wins this race versus Tim Troquette and Peter O'Brien will take home the championship trophy. So extremely close racing for them.
Absolute duke out between these two guys all season. They finished neck and neck at Spa. They finished almost neck and neck at Silverstone, and a little bit of a rough go for for Pobby and Eric Neville at Nürburgring, finishing in P4. So, you get first, fourth, and then you have Tim Troquette, who's been mega consistent, sitting in P2 every single time. It's been a ton of fun, and you can see we've had a little bit different podiums almost every time. We had a side attack win. Last week in that NSX for Poznikanov and Povalchuk, but a large majority of the time it's been Eric Neville and Tim Troquette. They're good, and I would love to see them in our GT3 Pro Series coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see some more extremely fast names in the GT3 Pro Series, where they already have an extremely fast field.
Yeah, it's going to be hyper competitive there.
Eric, a new what? A new 2-hour driver swap league? Is that what you mean? Or what do you mean? I don't want to make any
popular
assumptions.
Demand, we'll be launching a new one very shortly. There will be a new endurance series, I know that, but I wanted to say it's just been a lot of fun. Obviously, casting this with Mike and working with Eric and working with Tracklicious, it's been an absolute blast, and I want to show my appreciation by thanking you guys for bringing me forward, and finishing this out in Western New York has been a blast.
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me appreciating you, so that's just how it goes sometimes.
You know what, man? I appreciate your appreciation of my appreciation.
Okay,
which
we're
appreciating
gonna
each
put
other.
an end to this.
Yeah, we're gonna get yelled at by Eric if we keep that joke up. But yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
Okay,
and
2 hour. There
it
will
just
be
showed a
another
bunch
one.
of skill.
So there
A
will
new
be
2
another
hour
2 hour
season.
driver swap.
Ooh. I kind of want to drive though, Mike.
I don't.
That's the downside. You don't want to drive. You don't want to drive. Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
No, not
I
a
kind of want
freaking
to.
chance.
I could be in the car and I could cast.
No
with
one.
you,
I've already
and
made that clear that no one's doing that.
No one's gonna do that. Not
No,
a chance.
no.
Damn. Hey, it was worth a shot. We do have quite a bit of gap now. Seckham and Buckingham are our closest battle to the Jag and the BMW. A couple very pretentious vehicles going at it. The 103 Beamer, the Menergy BMW, and that Ram Ranch Jaguar. Probably the two, I would say the two best team names on the grid right now. Appreciate Deception. Yeah, exactly.
I read that as anti-perspiration, to be honest. So that's shows where my brain. Nate Lamlin has a yellow flag. Why does Nate Lamlin have a yellow flag, and why is he in P4? Wait, it's where he should be. Why is he in...
He's been in P4. I think race control was screwing up a little bit.
Or did Nate Lamlin screw up a little bit? Let's see.
Nice.
Oh, shoot. That's a big hit in the barrier. Oh, man. That's actually some serious damage from Nate Lamlin and is actually really going to hurt his race here at the end.
We got 20 minutes, and he has... Oh, man. That Horman gap has now gone from over 10 seconds to less than 8.
Yeah, a trip to the barrier, typically not that helpful with gaining time. And Nate Lamlin's showing
I'm no pro,
it.
But yeah, they may have to scramble here and figure out what they want to do as far as a pit goes.
No
but
pitting.
I think he's going to ride out the last 20 minutes with just a little bit of damage. He's still gaining pace in between him and Horman.
It's too late to pit. It's way too late to pit. Narasimhan is
Narasimhan,
facing the wrong way
yeah.
on. Luckily, there's no one around, so he's...
Yeah, he is on the opposite end of the track, currently in P7.
We'll take a look at what happened. Looks like maybe just too hot into the chicane.
Yeah,
is he going to go flying?
Suspension.
Wow, he didn't.
No.
He just lost
Ferrari suspension across that bus stop is just, it's not going to work out very well.
Nope.
I was talking with some engineers at that 45 garage, and they were saying that they were having to do some adjustment, figure out what to do with all of these Ferrari cars. They were even talking to other teams, the other Ferrari guys, and it's not going to work out very well. Not a great track car combo.
Justin cannot get by Jake.
Yeah, and it's a battle for sure. Justin, of course, flying right after this. He's headed to the Nürburgring for the Box 3 Season 5 Race 4, where we'll be driving in Germany. So he's getting some laps in now and then some laps in later. Mastachero hunting down Patty Toth as well. So we got some little mini battles in the mid pack and ladder pack.
Ooh, and actually, a bit of scrapping going on with Andreas, trying to make a move around the outside. As I said before, taking that karting line. It's a very favorable thing to do in the wet versus the dry, but still a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, you gotta be experienced to make it work in your favor. Because you can do it, and you'll just absolutely screw it up.
And as soon as I switched off the battle between Seckham and Buckingham, of course... What?
Buckingham? Buckingham?
Whatever.
I think it's Buckingham.
That's what I said, I thought. But anyways, it's fine. Buckingham gets overtaken.
And he's proven a pretty good battle in that Jag. Coming in P20 right now, so hats off to them.
That's going to be
non-meta car.
An easy overtake for Andreas right there.
And a big mistake there by Toth. And Provolone's going to put his hat into the ring for this battle.
Provolone's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get this overtake done. He's a ways back. Maybe having a look. No, he's not. Yeah, he's way too far back. He's basically the entire length of a football field back. Maybe not that much.
As John Cena once said, are you sure about that?
You know, he's 2/10, one football field.
Succumb and Buckingham, yeah. I think Provy wants this.
Gonna have the inside line for the chicane. Late enough onto the brakes, he is gonna get it done. Toth backs out of it really early, it seems.
Oh, little deja vu initial moment there. Provy, he makes it work. He gets it done, and Paddy Toth probably not too terribly happy with himself after making that mistake at the end of Sector 3. Gave Provolone that advantage. A. Kuhn and looks like the other Chip Ganassi Ford QV Motorsports Ferrari is under pressure in P14, P15.
Oh, CGR. Of course.
CGR? Yeah, CGR, Chip Ganassi Racing.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, then you gotta be redundant.
Yeah, Chip Ganassi CGR.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Chip Ganassi.
Yeah. You got it.
Lord in heaven.
Peter O'Brien's 20 seconds ahead of Tim right now.
Yep, yeah, I think...
Remember what I was saying about that pit stop phase thing? Yeah, I don't think that even would have mattered.
I'm going to make my prediction that Peter O'Brien's going to win this race.
It's a bold prediction, Cotton.
It is, yeah. It may not work out, but I've got a strong feeling about it. Now, again, we have said that Watkins is fast. Is at you quick. If Pobby makes a mistake, he could lose more than one position. We've said that throughout the race on multiple occasions through multiple battles. So just sticking to it, staying on track. He's got a great teammate there in Eric Neville. And like I said, I would love to see these guys in our Pro Series on Sunday nights coming up. That'd be fun to commentate on them again.
Yeah, for sure. Peter O'Brien here with this race win. If he does manage to take it home, 14 and a half minutes left, that will be the championship decided as well. Peter O'Brien, whoever wins between Tim and Peter, as I said before, will be taking home that championship. But we see Tim Troquette, he does not have a factory condition BMW. What happened to Cronotis? Speaking of factory condition BMWs, oh no, that bonnet did not look attached.
Oh no, he just bonked right into the tire wall.
You get a tire onto the grass? No. Onto the the understeer?
Ooh,
car just actually didn't turn.
Yep, a little bit of hydroplane. I think he was going a little quick into that piece of Sector 2.
I love how he makes contact with the barrier and it fixed his bonnet. Like it was,
really?
Yeah, it was broken before that and popped up, and then he lightly taps it and it just shuts it again.
Hey man, made it work.
Just hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, or the good old body slam. Also, Poznikanov, really, that team's got to kind of be kicking themselves right now because they are making up positions, but they could have been doing it at a higher rate or at a higher position than they are right now if they had switched to those wet tires earlier.
Yeah, they could at least be in P6 right now, I think, or at least P7.
I think they could be a top 5 team right now if they maybe had switched to those wets. But I see where the risk was. I see where the gamble was. Right, Mike's very anti-gamble.
Yeah, I actually did not see where the gamble was personally, but
he was trying to make it work. It obviously didn't. He's in P9. I mean, a top 10 finish is still really solid for the side attack guys, but you could have been top 5. Got your team a little bit more points, a little bit help in the championship. But yeah, it's looking bad. Looking bad right now, as far as the decision goes. Now, granted, I make terrible decisions when I race, especially with wet races, so I can't talk a whole lot. But they're talking right now. Masachero making up some positions on Chrono. Chrono just limping that BMW along right now.
Yeah, no point in pitting at this stage. Just better to limp at home.
Yep, and the Coconut Experience taking over the Tracklicious Sim Racing Team BMW. And Provolone's going to move himself up into a top 10 spot in a sec if he keeps driving the way he's driving.
Let's see here. Can Poznikanov get anything done onto Oliver? He managed to gain quite quickly, but as soon as he caught up with him, it looks like he's kind of stuck.
Yeah, and Ewing just going to whip out some big defense right now. That is going to be the goal for that Vivid Global Racing McLaren, is just defend, because they want that. They want another top 10 finish. If they get a top 10 finish, I believe they'll end up P4, P5 in the championship if the points work out. I'm terrible at math, so.
Bit of fire spurting from the back of that McLaren in the rain.
That is the coolest exhaust.
No, it's not.
Is the McLaren.
No.
Yes.
I drive them, but the Porsche definitely has it beat, unfortunately. I wish I agreed.
They only do it only does the warm glow. I love the flames pop out of the back of the McLaren when you shift. It is just chef's kiss good.
Fair. I don't even know where the fire's coming from. The thing's naturally aspirated.
Who knows, right? And maybe it was just a design thing, but it is sick. I think the Lexus has one that comes out of the side, and that one's also pretty legit. When you're driving at night and you see it on like replays, it'll light up the ground. Ooh, that's good stuff. I do love me a Lexus. None on track right now, which is a bummer. They'd be my favorite.
Haven't seen a Lexus in any series for a while.
Hey, that's why I gotta drive, man. That's my baby.
Are you serious? It's a 3.8
Also,
twin
McLaren's
turbo?
a 3.8 twin turbo. You got dunked on with facts.
I've legit thought that thing was naturally aspirated since the day I started driving it. Are you serious?
Since the day you were born?
Pretty much.
Which was yesterday, probably?
More or less.
Provo and Masachero.
Really?
They're getting cuddly. Ewing and Poznikanov also getting friendly with each other. This is our two biggest battles on track. Peter O'Brien out for a nice Saturday drive, just chilling in his 720S. I was lucky enough to see one of these on the highway. I think it wasn't a 720, it was a 650. But it is still, nonetheless, these cars are so cool to see in person.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. It's 4.0 twin turbo. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea.
R. Cooper dunked on himself with his own facts.
Yeah, he got it 0.2 liters off. God, how could you? How could you?
How could you? Actually, 4.0 liters.
The more you know.
Yeah. That's why we always do fact checks. We always gotta check with the guys in the truck. Always. Wrong is wrong.
This thing has no turbo lag.
Probably because it's a race car, Mike.
No, but the BMW has turbo lag.
I don't drive the BMW. I refuse.
Yeah, I do too, because it has turbo lag. I guess they just
It's a boring car.
I genuinely never noticed on the McLaren.
Oh, here we go. We have a nice little three-way here. Chrono, Toth, and Kuhn. I'm 100% getting some sandwiches from. I'm going to try to find a Hardee's. The BMW is the fastest car in the game. I'd say it's the NSX right now. The NSX or the Audi.
Really? The Audi has good top speed? Yeah, the Honda definitely.
Yeah, I would say it's got great acceleration. It just really wants to kill you, though.
Yeah.
When you step on the accelerator, it just whips you back around. Like, ooh, I found a penny. And it goes right back. The Honda. Yeah, the Honda. It did pretty decent in SRO America.
Oh, no! Speaking of Hondas! The Honda has pushed Oliver into the barrier there. Let's go back and check that out. I want to ride alongside with him. Just, oh, come on. Nice try. I hate that. Such a,
oh
no.
Yeah, it's leaving a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but that's a doozy. That's really gnarly for Ewing. Ewing stays top 10.
braking board just went flying on my screen. What the heck was that?
Yeah, it is technically the Acura NSX.
In America, it is.
Not the Honda NSX, but yeah, made right up the road from me. Actually, the NSX. Well, not anymore. I think they stopped making them. But
man, Oliver has such a gap to Andreas. As soon as I switch off, they get an overtake, and Aaron Kuhn is through on Patrick Toth. That just all right. Anyways,
you have the worst luck with that.
Yeah, I know. Oliver has like a 30 to 4 second gap to Andreas, so I think he'll be all right limping this extremely wounded McLaren home.
We are in the 5-minute warning. We got 5 minutes left in the race, and it's just been an awesome season for these guys. It's been a ton of fun. I think a lot of these guys gained some good experience. Nick Fujikawa being being one of them. Steve Tomazic, who I haven't seen a whole lot personally in driving around. I think he's gained a lot of experience.
Oh no! Why'd you say his name?
No, did I jinx him?
Why did you say anything?
Oh, I did. Oh, good commentator's curse there.
Let's see what happens.
Tom.
Steven trying to make a move onto the Ferrari, and he drives straight into the back of the Ferrari.
Oh, man. Steve.
You actually just cursed him beyond.
Yeah, dude, I have better commentator curses than Nico Rosberg, man. Wow, that sucks. He will also be headed to Germany with me tomorrow and take on the Nürburgring. That's a bummer. Him and Chris Raymaker have really connected pretty well, though, as far as that Porsche goes. It's in P16, but man, that sucks.
Yeah. A little bit of impatience.
Oh no! Oh man!
Provolone, that's not where the track is.
Yeah, I think he just straight up hydroplaned through that.
I don't know what just happened.
That was
he's still,
slightly comical. No contact.
He's not moving still.
Oh, he just has no control. Does he hit the barrier?
He killed the car. He's still moving. Keeps it out of the barrier. Oh, he's back on track.
Nice job.
Okay.
Nice job to not crank the barrier, but it moves A. Kuhn into potentially under that, and those tires have to be shredded.
Are you just getting a little heat into him?
Yeah, just warming them up a little bit. Just like throwing some leftovers in the microwave for 30 seconds, just cooking them. Got 4 minutes to make a move. Does Aaron Kuhn, and Steve Tomazic is back in the wall. Oh my god, I really commentator cursed him.
You ruined him.
Oh, Steve, I'm so sorry. My pal from Brick, New Jersey. He big time New Jersey Devils fan in the NHL, and that sucks.
Ooh,
I feel
gets
bad for him.
a slight tire onto the grass, and that's enough to send that Porsche into the barrier.
And he almost makes contact. I think that's Narasimhan.
Versosa. No, it was Narasimhan. You're right.
Yeah, I think that could have been really bad. Because Narasimhan's run P7 right now.
It was good.
Right around,
good avoidance
for
him.
Qualified, I believe. So.
Let me.
For that, Aaron Kuhn.
Check that for you.
Duking out. Yeah, if the guys in the truck could triple check.
Narasimhan is down 2 positions from where he started. He started in P5.
P5.
Hajo Horman up 6 positions from P11 into P5.
I think for Narasimhan, there was an accident early, and that really cranked him down. I don't think there was an accident early. I know there was an accident.
Yeah, I remember that. We saw
that cranked him down. So to be back up and only down 2 positions by what looked like almost near terminal accident, I think that's a pretty good drive. And he's doing it solo, too. He doesn't have a teammate.
Yeah. Aaron Kuhn's also, he started in P24. He's up 12 positions, actually, from where he started.
Yeah, great drive by that Rockstar, or Stooch Racing, I believe it is.
Yep.
Stooch Racing, McLaren in the wet, man. I mean, you called it. I didn't think he was that good in the wet. But you're more of a McLaren guy than me, so.
I think, like I said, I think all around it might be the best car in the wet. It might not be the fastest, but
I think last week we said it was a jack of all trades, master of.
Yeah, that's how I've always I will always describe the McLaren as that way. Is it can be on a knife's edge if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be, and that's why I like it. It's respectable.
We got 2 minutes. Speaking of McLarens, McLaren is going to currently, barring any serious incidences like a discount, we saw Kyle Lamy that one time. Pobby, Peter O'Brien, and Eric Neville should be taking this one away. A lot can happen in 2 minutes. I'm just kidding. Yeah,
I know
pretty much.
I think he's like actually a football field ahead now. Like
Yeah,
a legit full
unlike
football
the
field.
time that you were saying that Provolone was a football field away.
Look, I say that when I'm driving on the freeway too. When I see a car with no gap or that gives like a massive gap, leaving a freaking football field between you and the car in front.
I can only imagine the amount of road rage that you have.
I'm pretty chill
Pent up.
sometimes.
there it is. Occasionally, I'm chill. Tim Triquette, feeling pretty chill right now, coming home in P2. This will be his 4th P2 finish.
And actually not that comfortable either. That gap to Landry has closed quite a lot since...
Less than 10 seconds. There's 30 seconds left in the race.
Yes, I'm not saying he's getting it done, but, I'm just saying the gap was a lot bigger.
I would say an 8-second gap is pretty comfy.
It is.
If I have an 8-second gap on someone, I have to really screw up, which happens frequently. I have to really screw up for me to lose that gap. So, I mean, in these last 5 seconds is Peter O'Brien's going to come across the line. Kudos to those guys for really, really making a crazy season. They'll get their 3rd win of the session, and Tim Triquette coming in P2 again, a 4th P2, barring any penalties or anything like that. Just insane consistency by the Dutchman and the Hungarian that he drove with in Yannick Koerts. Just nutty for these guys.
Nars Simon, what happened? He was sitting in P7. This is going to affect his positioning, I think. Actually, it might. It isn't. Man was beached for like 20 seconds and still didn't get overtaken. Poznikanov is going to be a little closer than he was, but still, he's a good bit away.
Yeah. Not quite.
Peter O'Brien, the man, the myth, the legend of JP Motorsports.
He's going to come across the line. He's going to take the ship. And also, shout out to Landry and Andy Meyer. Doing a great job bringing home P3. For them, a nice podium. As they're I believe they're Battle Goat Racing. So they'll bump up. It'll be their 2nd podium, but hats off to Eric Neville and Peter O'Brien.
Versosa hit the wall at the very end there, but sorry, still comes across the line. Peter O'Brien for 1st position. Freaking Tim Triquette, a little bit behind. But
by 30 seconds.
Yeah.
By 30 seconds. That was an absolute. I don't know. That was a decisive
masterclass.
That was a decisive win.
So it was a masterclass drive.
There was a no doubter. That's like when a baseball player hits a home run and just cranks it, and it's a no doubter, and he runs the bases. That's a no doubter by Pobby. Let's go snag him for an interview.
Yeah, almost. We still got some battling on track. Following along here with Aaron Kuhn and Provolone. This is going to come down to the final corner, I would imagine. I think Provolone he's shown some good defense, barring any errors. And we see a little bit of a look to the outside from the McLaren, but that's just not going to happen. 2 more corners to go.
Ooh, Provolone getting a little touchy on the grass there. But sticking with it.
Only got one more corner. Can come down to the very end here, but Provolone looks like he is going to keep it on track. Coming across the line for that P11, Aaron Kuhn respectively in P12.
Great finish by those two. Yeah. Making it close. Some content there.
Okay, Bucknam is not... Okay, let's see here. Who are we grabbing?
It is Landry, Triquette, and Pobby. Eric Neville would also work.
There's literally no one in here. There's no one.
Well,
Am I blind?
Don't make me answer that question.
No, I'm not blind. There's all right. Well, we'll cut to us. Are you ready?
Yeah, we'll cut to us.
Just to let you know that we're cutting to us.
I was born ready.
Yep. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hi. How's it going? Good to see you once again. And
I have to make sure my green screen isn't. Yep. Oh.
No, you look perfect.
You do too, by the way. You look stunning today. Your lighting is really. You know what? I really like the way you're lit today.
Don't mention the lighting.
I like the way you're lit today. To be totally honest.
It's the one thing that I don't have good yet.
But yeah, that was a ton of fun. We had a great season. It was awesome being stuck in the booth with you. Also, hats off to the production crew that makes this happen, which is Eric Cossian, Tracklicious Eric. If you guys want to give us a follow, we always appreciate that, right? But we also love to have you guys in the race, right? We have a giant Discord server, and usually you guys are always doing some sort of events.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of events. Plenty of them are all casted by me and a man with a tie, so you know it's official. My tie is a little messed up though after that exciting race.
Also, nice accomplishment. Tracklicious just hit 900 followers on Twitch.
All right, we actually made it.
Yeah, almost to the 1,000 mark.
We're up to 904. Let's go. Trying to beat Eric out on the followers. So if you guys are interested and haven't followed, make sure to drop a follow. And yes, big thanks to the entire admin team as well for setting up these leagues. Could not do that without them. Professor Cronotis, Daniel Versosa, plenty. Yeah,
Versosa actually
others.
Got this whole session together. He did the driver's briefing. He did all of this. So kudos to them. Kudos to the guys that were driving. Big shout out to Eric Neville, Tim Triquette, and Mark Antoine Landry, who finished the race for the Battle Anime Club, I believe is what it was. But yeah, shout out to all those guys. And we need to do it again in a couple weeks. The GT3 Pro Series. I also didn't realize you actually had
had a what?
I had no idea. You had a tie on. I didn't know.
Yeah, What do you mean?
That's hilarious.
My tie. Vivid
also
in
shout
chat.
Out.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Vivid Global Racing, absolutely.
Great result from the Vivid guys in this race as well. I didn't actually see where Ollie finished, or Ollie finished either. Actually, Ollie got murdered there at the end, unfortunately. But thank you for the follow, Vivid. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us in this league. As I said, I'm still trying to buy a little bit of time. Maybe one of our drivers will pop into the Discord.
Maybe they'll pop in, but I think we should we should figure out who to raid.
Yes, indeed. But big congratulations to Patrick O'Brien for winning the championship for this season. And
also, Mike, I have a streamer to raid.
Alrighty.
He's new to ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead Go ahead and send it.
Let me see here.
You should be
stand by.
Double check. Are you a mod?
I'm not. No, I can't send anything.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
I sent you the Twitch link. But yes, he is new to ACC.
Oh, it's Assbox.
It is Assbox. He's a really cool dude, and I would love to show him some support and some hype. So stick around, watch him. He's doing some LFM, I believe. So, yep, yeah, he's doing some LFM. He's got a great setup, really cool, like almost helmet cam. So,
well, you heard it here. Go ahead, let's send that raid over to Assbox, and thanks everybody for joining our 2-hour race. Thank you, Blue, for joining me in the booth, and yeah, hope you guys have a great day. And let's send this over to Assbox.